All right, welcome to session 9. So it's been a couple of weeks since last time, but so last time you were ambushed by nymphs in the caves beneath the White Rock Spring. You ran for your lives, but a loud scream echoed through the caves. The enemy approached you from both directions in great numbers. Off one of the side passages, a lone figure, a humanoid with gray color skin, somewhat disfigured, pleaded for you to follow him to safety. He claimed that the nymphs could not follow him deeper into the caves, beyond the illusory wall, and it seems he was right. You traveled deep underground through a maze of tight, ragged passages, traveling ever downward. It became nearly impossible to keep track of your direction. Finally, as the heat hit a peak, you came upon other creatures that looked the same as the first. They called themselves Catacos. They sought to help you escape with a passage to Ur-Minig, the underworld. To them, escape was death, but not at the hands of the nymphs. Eventually, after Gizzard died in his journey down the stairs, dying to the air below, you convinced the Catacos to lead you to the surface. It was midday when the 4 survivors of your group finally left the caves. You traveled back to the Catanese watchtower, arriving in the evening. You then met up with Sebastian, still waiting for his friends to return in the friendly Nymph Inn. After much discussion, you were able to convince him of the truth, which he did not take particularly well. You asked him to meet you in the morning before you travel. You also heard of the vagrant near the Temple of Methina again, who still seems to be telling everyone his story of the mysterious tower. That same vagrant had spoken to Sebastian as well. You have also been hearing rumors of a mysterious cave between the Ancus and Rhea watchtowers, with conflicting reports as to what is there, and that the Helicus of Methina is looking for new members for some reason related to a recent find. As we begin, it is morning. You have slept for a full day, and you expect Conglomerate and Gizzard to return shortly before noon. Alright, so you are currently in the Friendly Nymph Inn. You've just woken up in the morning. So what do you do?
I'm going downstairs and getting a liquid breakfast.
You call that breakfast?
Alright.
Perhaps something a little more solid.
You
Like
head downstairs, and they are serving breakfast as you get there. And for breakfast, they're serving bread, some sort of thinly sliced meat, the occasional egg, and watered down wine.
Well, I don't think that we are sticking around too long for me to earn breakfast the normal way.
You do know that as part of your Reuben board, you got your dinner yesterday and your breakfast today, so you don't have to. Basically, breakfast is free, or you already earned it.
Hooray! Well, I'm gonna eat my free breakfast and keep a lookout for our sad human friend.
Okay, so you start eating breakfast, looking out for Sebastian. What are the rest of you doing?
I am also getting breakfast.
You would be, except you're still dead.
Oh, yeah.
No. A
So
bummer.
you're getting breakfast in spirit.
Sounds good to me.
You can just sit around the table in incorporeal form.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Great.
And Judge, what are you doing?
I'm getting some breakfast too, but as I sit down with something a little bit more solid than a liquid breakfast, I plop a couple of pieces of bacon down in front of the fortunate son, and I kind of turn to everybody at the table and say, so we shall be regrouping soon, but perhaps we should find a different direction to take our explorations, at least for the time being.
You place your sliced meat onto the table because they don't appear to have anything called bacon, and then have your discussion.
Okay. And,
Were we not going to Catanese?
well, yes. We can definitely do that. Maybe we can have a few words with this vagrant before we go. Don't we have a young ward to take one last check on?
Not keeping an eye out for him.
All right, and Cyclonin, what are you doing? I mean, you're talking to Judge, but are you eating? Or are you out? Are you trying to seek harder liquor?
I'll deal with the watered down wine for now. I've got better stuff for later. I'll go ahead and eat the meat that Judge plopped down, and I'll just keep an eye out for Sebastian.
As you eat the meat, it does have a flavor that's reminiscent of ham. And Tavros, what are you doing?
No, excuse me. I'll come join them for breakfast. And I have a quick question. I think I missed part of the last session. Should I have put my health to full? Do we have a time to rest?
You had a long rest.
Okay. Perfect.
If you hit the long rest button, it'll reset everything for you.
Oh.
Handy, isn't it?
Where's the long rest? Oh, there it is.
If you look to get hit dice short less health.
Yeah.
So, anyway, since the campaign is still young, I will remind people that out of the rumors you've heard, you can actually seek out more information if you want to go talk to people, and of course, people you've heard about, like the Vagrant, you can also seek out if you wish. All right, so you guys consume your breakfast, and about half an hour through, you're probably most of the way finished, and you see Sebastian kind of stumbling down the stairs. You can see his face, his eyes are swollen a bit, and then he waves and kind of starts stumbling over as he sees you. And you see in one of his hands is basically a bottle, not a glass bottle exactly, but a ceramic container with a stopper in it that serves as this person's equivalent, or this world's equivalent. And you see him stumbling your direction. So what do you do? And I'll have to fix that for you, Dave. It looks like the script needs to be updated.
Alrighty. I'll just do that for the time being.
Okay.
Welcome. Come on over. I'm going to go ahead and order 2 drinks. This is my cue to order a little better quality.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, as if he needs more.
You order two drinks, which they give you happily. Although they tell you that there's a bit of a in the mornings the drinks are a little more expensive, and they charge you half mithna for the 2 drinks.
That is strange. Whatever.
I take
Alright.
the opportunity to get some bread and maybe some greasy eggs and kind of plop them down in front of him and put one hand on his shoulder as I come around the other side to sit back down. It's like, it'll do you a little better than just the liquid.
He looks up at you, and then he picks at at some of the bread, and he slowly starts chewing on it. So, you're traveling, huh? Where are you going?
That is what we are trying to figure out. What about yourself?
I don't know. I'm gonna stay here for a while. you know, there's a nice area behind the temple.
Behind the temple?
Yeah, today's my last day in the inn, and I don't have any more money, so I'm gonna go sleep behind the temple.
Oh, that is, well, very unfortunate. In fact, you should instead perhaps reconsider. You know, we are headed out. Maybe you could follow us.
Deerspoons, he's used to sleeping outside. I think he can help me out. Being a vagrant and all.
Well, one possible destination we have is Catanese. Perhaps there is more opportunity there for you.
Oh yeah, me and my friends used to live in Catanese. Well, I guess technically he scratches his head. I still have a small place there. Well,
Perhaps.
technically my family has a small place there, and I lived with my family.
Perhaps you need to be making a trip back to at least let your friends' family be aware of the situation.
I think I'd stay here for a while. I don't think I want to go back. At least not right now.
Well, you were thinking of going somewhere else?
No, just stay here for a while. Well, maybe I might go north. There's a place up there. He scratches his head. There's a town. Well, I can't think of it right now, but you know, there's a place up north. Maybe I'll go there. As he scratches his head, he finally snaps his finger. Yeah, Cepazos. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Cepazos. I've never been there before, so there's nothing to remember there.
And what is in this place? Do you at least know that?
It's a town. It's not as big as Catanese, so you know, it'll be you know, I don't know. It won't be as crowded.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you capable of doing?
Oh,
have a
I did a little.
professions?
I've done a little hunting here and there. I did a stint where I was an actor at the Ebelos Theater in Catanese, and I was going to one of the schools for a while. My family kind of made me go, and I learned, you know, I can play a few musical instruments, and you know, I know some poetry.
Well, I'm a bard. If you have some bardic skills, perhaps we could perform together. No need to be a bum that sleeps behind temples.
I don't know. I mean, I play the flute, but I don't know. Scratches his head. I'll think about it later. And he just kind of gnaws at the bread and kind of looking down at his plate.
Time for some divine intervention.
Perhaps hiring him a bit of coin.
Why are things loading?
Oh, I was just switching to the world map.
Okay. I was
I was scared something was happening, and I'm like,
no,
oh no.
no. Nothing's happening.
I
Yeah,
thought my
we
internet
might have
pooped out. It's like, well, we're gonna refresh in the middle of this,
We didn't hit
Yeah,
the
we-
deadline for some sort of Sierra type puzzle, and we all died.
right? It's like, dang.
We
Let me
might have to
see.
stick around here until later in the afternoon, depending on exactly when our compatriots are gonna rejoin us.
This is true. Until then, and she kind of like makes like a sly motion of, you know, when you look at someone and you like direct your eyes back and forth towards someone else.
Yeah.
She's like doing that at like from her friends to the Sebastian. She's like, get the human. Get the human.
Yeah, a very subtle nod.
I'm kind of curious. Go ahead and give me a group stealth check between the two of you. I'm kind of curious if Sebastian notices. So both of you make a stealth check, and then we'll see if one of you succeed. Then you're subtle enough.
Oh, I'm not subtle at all. I'm like shaking my head in his direction, just like.
Okay, with Judge's
go.
help though, he kind of directs you to face, kind of away, and you guys get your your kind of sign language across without Sebastian noticing.
Well, Sebastian, our promise to avenge your friends was not an empty one. And if you want to take command of your destiny, perhaps you could travel with us. You may very well be the instrument that avenges your friends, and you save others at the same time.
He looks up at you, Cyclonin, and he says, how would me being there help you? I can't use any weapons, and I don't have armor and training.
It is not necessarily those things that win battles. You are
Well, I
like
might
a-
point out that even the mightiest person started as a defenseless infant. You may not be a fighter now, but who knows what the future may bring. And you still have information about these creatures. And even if you choose not to travel with us, if you ensure that nobody else goes to explore that area, you may save countless lives just by keeping them away.
So are you telling me to stay here and keep people from the area?
If you choose not to travel with us and become capable of avenging them yourself, then perhaps that is an alternative.
I
That is
don't
up to you.
know, though. He already tried to warn the guards, and they did not believe him. I do not think dwelling on it here will end well for him. He is one voice. He needs more to be believed.
That is a good point.
You cannot get stuck in his throat. I mean,
And he cannot excel necessarily by himself. No offense, but you don't really learn the sword on your own. You need a master to teach you. And I don't see the guards being so generous with their time.
No.
not only that, you must embrace your destiny.
You can join.
You must-
You can join the phalanx, but I've never been keen on the sword. I've never been a martial type of person.
It's
hunting
alright,
is
it's
as
not
far
for
as I
everyone.
can go.
hunting
Well,
is
even
all-
then, there is something to be said for meat on the table. And even if you do not wish to fight, Perhaps we can find a better future for you than sleeping behind the temple. Certainly,
it-
that is not the ultimate ambition in your life.
No. Thinking about it, he kind of scratches his head. Maybe I'll talk to that vagrant and go find that tower of his. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Hmm.
But I don't want to go home right now.
This is fine. That is understandable. It hurts to remember.
Well,
So yeah, he continues. He stuffs his mouth full of sliced meat and kind of shrugs.
we've been talking in common, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can switch to Celestial and he won't know what the heck we're saying.
I was just thinking that. I was going to go ahead and quietly, but in Celestial, switch over and say, well, if we are needing to be taking care of this human's problem with his own destiny, perhaps we could encourage him to go to this tower. What do we know of it?
Yes,
Is this
but
some
he
sort
will-
of adventure?
He is not a fighter.
No.
He will die if he goes by himself. In fact, I don't trust him to really travel on his own at all.
And
He is
around here, I
apparently
don't think we can
listed.
trust ourselves to travel alone.
He's apparently
You
at
make
least a
claims,
competent. He
You
is
make claims.
apparently at least a competent hunter. He might very well be an excellent guide.
Perhaps, at least in his city, but he doesn't want to go back home now. I say we bring him along with us. He can tell us what he knows, and at the very least, he can be companion. Maybe
Who
tell
need
us
a
things
guide?
about. Well, guide. I don't know where he's been.
Well, we know he has been to Catanese, and we do need to know something about that place. And if
That's
nothing
right.
else, he certainly knows more about this world than we do.
He, however, is not willing to go to Cantonese right now. However, he is
No,
willing
but
to go
he's
to
willing
this
to go
tower.
elsewhere.
So perhaps we can take a slight detour. Who knows what we might be learning at this tower?
What do we know of the tower so far?
Not much. As far as I know, we must be talking to some vagrant in order to get better information. But I've not heard a whole lot through the grapevine, and I do not know how much you've been able to gather.
Well, assuming that this is not the figment of someone's imagination, we must consider that if something like this turns out to be a trap, much in the way the nymphs are, exploring something like that could be very dangerous indeed.
Yes, it will be almost certainly deadly for him to do that alone. We
It is
at least
fine.
will
Yeah.
recognize the problems and be able to run away. If
Well,
it
that is
comes
why
to
we
that.
are here.
Yes.
He can be a guide, and he can also be someone to keep in the town, to, shall we say, save space, save room. Keep an ear out and an eye out in the civil places for leads.
Well, he clearly knows little about the tower since he expressed a desire to seek it out himself, so relying on him as a guide for that is not such a good idea. Pretty much anything else, whether it be the information that Darcy spoke of, traveling to Catanese or this other community, will seem like better plans.
Well, he did tell us that we could find more about the tower.
Yes, we can go speak to this vagrant. I believe he gave a name. I did not catch it.
Are we really in that much of a hurry to die?
I mean, some of
I
us
do
have
not
yet to
believe-
do so.
And she like flicks her hair at that.
One of
I do
us
not-
has yet to die.
I
For all
do
you
not
know,
believe-
the next puddle you step in could be your last.
Then I won't step in puddle.
Maybe it won't be a puddle next time. Perhaps this is an unusually green patch of grass. Or perhaps it is the wrong patch of air. Oh, that is magnificently fragrant today.
That's why we don't listen to strange ground people when they say they know escape route.
As you're talking in Celestial, every once in a while you'll notice Sebastian kind of gives you an odd look, and otherwise he's stuffing his face.
Good, good. At least he's eaten. Well, perhaps it is not so much going to seek our own deaths as it is needing to start somewhere. I mean, the first temple we got to had some horrible bugs, but we recovered and regrouped there rather well. We had very little problem at the shipwreck. We have to put one foot somewhere, pick a direction to start moving. Right now,
I'm trying to remember, didn't somebody get poisoned at the shipwreck?
No.
Somebody got infested with parasites.
But we found a way around that.
That is true, but consider that 5 of us have died so far.
What would you have us do?
One person suffered. One
What
person
would you
suffered
have
a
us-
fate worse than death.
What would you have us do then, fortunate son? Would you have us stay here in this small fort and not step foot out again for fear of the possibility of death? I think we need to move forward.
Well, apparently there's something you greatly fear at Catanese.
No, it just keeps getting put by the wayside. I believe we were trying to encourage this young man to come with us to Cantonese, but he's not interested in that.
Give him time, give him time. Besides, we don't have all of us to leave right now anyways. And we still have yet to speak to the strange man who knows about the tower. So let's follow leads that are here first before we start making decisions.
Yes,
Also,
at the very
he is
least.
bad. Come on. He has lost several dear friends. He does not wish to go back, or he is reminded where they will no longer be. You know how mortals are.
And it wouldn't hurt to at least have the information, even if we do not act upon it immediately.
This is true, this is true.
Lapse back into common. Sebastian, how would you feel about taking on employment as a guide? We are in need of someone who knows the area. We are new to this place and know even less than your typical newcomer.
He looks up and he says, well, I spent most of my life in Catanese, and I traveled here. I've been to the Ancus and Rio watchtowers along the road, and I'd done a little bit of hunting in some of the later jungles. He scratches his head. That's about all I've done. So if you're interested in being led to one of those places, I'll be glad to help.
Excellent. That is exactly what we need. In particular, we were unable to approach Catanese as was originally intended, so we do need to stop. Ideally, we'd like to stop there, take care of some things, and then we can explore the territory. And if you are a bard, then perhaps this is an opportunity for you to see more of the world. Have things to write poems about, and performances. There is no need for you to fight. We can assure your safety, and you get to see the world.
He
Not
kind of
only
shrugs
that,
and he says, "Okay, well, I'll stay here while you go to Catanese, and then when you come back, you can find me at the temple."
Well, we could stand to have someone show us around the points in Catanese. We do not need to stay, but it would help to have someone show us the area.
He kind of looks at you, kind of a haunted look on his face, and he shakes his head. No, I'll stay here while you go to Katniss.
We do not require you to speak with anybody you wish to avoid.
I said I'll stay here while you go to Katniss.
Very well.
How about you leave him alone on that? He does not wish to go. He does not have to.
Yeah, he was talking
Would
about
you
going to the
perhaps
tower.
be interested in the tower? You spoke of it before, and we are also interested in the tower.
That's why I suggested following you
Sure.
there,
He
because
he
was
kind of
talking-
waves his hand in the air and he says, "What's the worst that can happen?" And he goes back to Edie.
Wonderful. Do you know where you spoke of that vagrant that told you of the tower? Does he usually just stay by the temple, or?
Yeah, he stays near the Temple of Athena. He's there's a rest area, and he usually stays around there because that's where people are, and that way he can tell people about his wild stories.
Yeah, what did you say his name was again?
Oh, Despones. I don't think most people know that though. He scratches his head. I think he was once an explorer, actually. But you'd have to ask him about that.
Yeah,
That could be helpful.
I think so. If you'd like, we can do that while we wait for the others. Better than sitting on our hands or drinking our sorrows.
At that, I take another swig.
I refuse.
And
With a sideways glance, I would imagine.
And so, just to remind everybody who wasn't necessarily here during the recap, you'd also heard mysterious rumors of a cave between Ancus and Rhea Watchtower, and stuff about the Halakis and Athena looking for new members as well, just in case that got missed.
Okay.
Alright.
You could ask him about that. If he knows anything.
All right, so what are you guys gonna do?
I think I am going to go to whatever. Well, he said there was a temple. I'm going to go ahead and go there and ask around, and yeah, I'm going to go talk to the people there.
Okay, so there are two temples. There's the Temple of Athena, which is all nice and tidy. It's kind of like the temples the Temple of Deal. It's in good shape and everything. And then there's the Temple of Nylea, which you notice there the columns are wrapped in ivy. There's much more wild plant growth, and it feels like a much more wild place. So which temple are you going to?
Which one's closer?
They're about the same.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and go with the overgrown ivy one.
Okay, so yeah, you show up. You can see that there's a rest area there as well with the fountain, and you can see people. Some people actually drinking right out of the fountain. You can see various benches, and of course, the place is alive with wild plants. It looks it looks like the same kind of plants that grow out in the jungle, and lots of vibrant flowers and bushes and stuff like that. And yeah, you see people kind of milling about, talking to each other, and that kind of thing. So what do you do?
Do I see anybody who looks like they obviously are a part of the or a member of the temple?
Yeah, you can certainly find members of the temple, hanging out near the entrance to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, though, the members of this temple, for whatever reason, seem to be seem to be all female.
Hmm. Well, good morning.
One of them turns around and she bows her head slightly and she says, "My name is Cleo. What shall I call you?"
You can call me El Gato.
All right, El Gato. How may I help you?
Well, there is a conversation I had the other day. It's kind of an unusual thought struck me, and I was interested in a little bit of a history about the gods. And what I was wondering in particular is, do you know of any situation in which a god had been stripped of their immortality and became mortal again?
She thinks for a bit, and she says, "Yes, there was once a goddess of the called Stella, and she was the goddess of the moon and the stars. But she crossed the pantheon of light, and Keranos cast her down. It's unclear exactly what caused the strife between her and the rest of the pantheon, but it is believed that she was attempting to undermine their message to the mortals. She was trying to pull the mortals away from the gods onto herself somehow. And so she was cast down to the world as a mortal to live her remaining days."
What happened to her after that?
She toiled upon the earth, no one recognizing her, for as she was cast down, they horribly misfigured her. Her face was nothing of the beauty it once was. And as she cried and told them who she was, they had all but forgotten the goddess Stella. And so she toiled the remainder of her days as a vagrant and vagabond, going from place to place until finally she died in some unknown place in the forests up north near the polis of Mithina.
Hmm.
What causes you to seek out such a sad tale?
Well, there's plenty of turmoil in the world, and people tend to, sometimes conversations happen, contemplating the roles of mortals in the world, and perhaps, and the role of the gods, and, some of the stories, some of the rumors, got me wondering, just, no. We often look into the skies and see all the gods as all powerful, but, how true is that really in some cases? And, what kind of suffering do they experience? How much are they like us? How little are they like us? It was more a point of curiosity than anything, but if it helps me understand my place in the world that much better, then perhaps it was knowledge worth seeked out, even if it is an unhappy tale.
Indeed. Well, I understand. Nerlia, being the goddess of the hunt, and being amongst the pantheon of the darkness, she understands that the pantheon of the light often portrays themselves as the bringers of justice and of honor, but sometimes they can be as weaseling and backstabbing as any. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
And you as well. I thank you for your time, and thank you for the rather intriguing tale.
You're welcome.
And with that, I will walk over to the other temple as we segue to other people in the party.
All right, fair enough. So what is everybody else doing as Cyclonen is Cyclonen just kind of heads off to one of the temples, by himself. It's just all of a sudden. So what's everybody else doing?
Well, I was gonna go to the other temple.
Okay, so yeah, you head over to the Temple of Methina, and what do you do there?
I just want to kind of wander and see if I can't find this vagrant that was supposedly around this area.
Okay, yeah, you see this kind of shaggy, older person, white hair, long beard, shaggy clothes, in the rest area near the Methina temple. And you can hear him talking to a group of people, and, almost like he's orating. But quickly enough, the people kind of just scatter away, and then he kind of just sits down, seemingly to wait for the next batch.
All right, I'll go. Stand by him or stand near that area
He sees
and
you,
awaiting.
all right, he sees you walk up, and he says, "Oh, friend. So what brings you to this small patch of ground?"
I heard you have an interesting tale.
Oh, yeah, I consider it interesting. Most people don't believe me. But nevertheless, my name is Dispons. I was once an explorer, a member of the Halakis of Methina, in fact. And, one day I was traveling in the dense jungles south of the Temple of Deal, exploring. And I came across, southwest of the temple, I came across a clearing deep in the jungle. Now you understand the jungles. I don't know if you've been there, but the Temple of Deals to the south of the island here, and the jungle to the further south. They are quite dense indeed. And as you enter, it's like the whole world is closing in, and it is your visibility is much reduced. So when I found this clearing, I was overjoyed. And as I approached the clearing, um, I saw a large or a strange stone tower, and but I didn't approach right away. I went to set up camp, and I was thinking that I might explore the area. But I stayed away from the clearing at first because oftentimes creatures will prowl such places. Good line of sight. It's easy for them to kind of hide just outside the clearing and strike when you don't expect. And but my curiosity got the better of me, and so as evening began to fall, I decided to head to the clearing. Of course, by this point, my sight of the tower was completely blocked by the trees because of how close I was. But once I got there shortly after nightfall, instead of the tower that I had seen from a distance, I saw this massive patch of desert in the clearing. It was still warm, and it didn't make any sense. I didn't understand the arcane powers that must have been at work, because clearly there was a tower there, and clearly there should be no desert in the middle of the jungle. I fled. And months later, I visited the jungle once more, not getting too close, but I did once again see that tower peeking over the canopy. But I dared not get close, fearing whatever power may be at work. After that, I quit the Halakis of Methina. I did tell others of the story, as you know, but only a single man ever took me seriously. A man by the name of Menace. But I've never seen him again. And so that's my tale.
All right. Well, is there any reason that it stuck out? Like it was such a so important to you, this mysterious tower?
Oh, no
It's just
reason.
been-
It's just what kind of dark forces, what kind of godly power can make a tower disappear and replace it with desert, and yet make it reappear again.
Right.
That is the realm of the gods, not the realm of a mortal such as myself.
What is your goal in spreading this story?
To get people to understand that there's more in this world than most people are willing to see, that the gods touch the world in ways that most ignore, that there's more to this world than the mundane life they live in Katniss or one of the other cities.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing. I'm just gonna walk away and just check out. Just listen around, see if there's any other interesting things happening in this temple.
Okay, so you're listening for like rumors and stuff, but we'll get back to you on that in a moment. In the meantime, Darcy and Judge, what are you two doing?
I guess try to make sad boy not so sad.
Okay, how are you gonna do that?
Well, he's clearly been drinking.
Yes.
But I
did get
assume
him
that
some-
jug in his hand.
I did get him some breakfast, so he is eating
Yeah.
bread and stuff.
Yeah, but he's still got that drink in his hand.
He does.
Mm.
He's basically stuffing his face with one hand as he holds his drink with his other hand. He never even puts it on the table. He's been holding it the whole time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so no sleight of hand bullshit here.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not exactly a thief, so it wouldn't probably go well anyway. Let me look at my my bag of tricks here. Does he seem to be hung over currently?
Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, not good, but you know. I have no now. Trying to see if there's anything that magically I could rabbit out of a hat here. Meanwhile, Judge can do what Judge's gonna do.
Fair enough. So, Judge, what are you gonna do?
I thought we might go as a group to go talk to the vagrant, but got that taken care of.
Yeah, I'm not sure you know that though, because you just know that a certain bull in human form just walked away.
Hmm.
That's
Ooh.
true.
I could
like to
do
go
the
find-
same.
But anyway, Judge, what were you saying?
Yeah, in that case, I was gonna go try and find the vagrant as well.
Okay, so
Just
you
to ask
go
some
off and you
questions.
go to find the vagrant, and then you find Tavros already talking to him.
In that case, I would just listen to the story he had told.
Okay.
Did he give a kind of a location to the tower/desert area?
He said that to the south, to the south and southwest in the dense jungle, there's a clearing. So You essentially get the impression it's probably southwest of the Temple of Deal, and in the middle of the dense jungle.
Okay.
All right. All right. So in that case, after you're done talking, are you going to join Tavros in listening for rumors, or are you going to go off and do something else?
Can I check about what time it is? Do I know about how long it'll be until our friends join us?
Yeah. So it is probably around 7:30. Actually, no. It probably took you half an hour to eat, so we're gonna call it 8 o'clock.
And when are we expecting them back?
Around noon.
Okay, so we got some time. I'd like to... I will go ahead and just wander around, see if I can learn anything else for the moment, but I want to kind of keep tabs on at least a couple of other people so we can get back to our hotel room before they appear.
Okay. Yeah. I'll have you and Tavros give me a charisma check for gathering rumors, but after Darcy does her thing. So back to you, Darcy.
I have a question.
Okay.
Does the description of lesser restoration basically just says I touch a creature and I either end a disease or a condition inflicting it, blinded, deafness, paralyzation, or poisoned, and I feel like him being hungover is an effect of the alcohol, which is poisoning.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Being drunk is basically being poisoned.
yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't have any sparkle nonsense going on to give away that I'm doing something magical beyond I touch you, but now you feel better.
It depends. Does it say V or S near the spell? Basically, whether you have vocal or somatic components.
Yeah, it says VS.
Yeah, so basically there would be a chant involved as well as some sort of hand movement and touching. So it'd be very clear that, that you're doing something weird.
Dang.
That said, that's only because everybody can see you because you're out in the open right now.
Mm-hmm. Does he look like he can walk far without falling over?
He stumbled his way from the stairs to the table.
I would like to try to offer him water.
Okay. You go to offer him some water, and then he kind of just shakes the jug he's holding and shakes his head. And then takes a swig.
So, you plan to just drink all day?
Yeah, I was planning on it. Maybe tomorrow, too.
So you're just going to drink the whole time? That is it? That is your life now?
Until the pain goes away.
Well, it won't go away doing that.
It helps. Sometimes.
I think it helped you more if you maybe stop and do something active with your life. I'm sure your friends wouldn't want you to be this way.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Yay! Oh god. No, I do not. I do not trust this digital die to do me right. I'd like to give myself inspiration.
Okay.
It could be worse. At least I'm not there to give you disadvantage.
That's right. You stay away. You and your alcoholism and your enabling. Bought him a drink when he came down with one. Shame on you. Features.
Well, if he was
fun?
drinking the wine at this place, it was basically water anyway.
Yeah, well, he already had his own brew, and you offering him more didn't help. There it is. I bardic inspire myself.
Hey, sharing is caring.
Not when it's a dependent.
Yeah, she's
da-da-da-da-da.
still trying to make him a more permanent member of the team.
Yeah, we need a servant. Get with the program. He can't be good at his job if he's drunk.
No, but if he's impaired in the mind, he might agree to things he otherwise wouldn't.
That is what persuasion is for, sir. And charm. Okay, so a D8. Get to roll that and add that to my thingy.
Okay.
Well, so you should get advantage because his judgment is impaired.
I should. You'd think so, but he's very sad and doesn't want to do anything because depression. Okay. Where's the dice? Gosh, it's been forever. There they are. D8. D8. Roll that. Ugh. Okay, so I get a +4 on whatever is about to happen next.
Okay.
Normal. Do it. See? See what I mean?
Fair
14
enough.
plus 4. 18.
As, yeah, 18. So yeah, he's listening, and he puts down the jug on the floor, and he says, "Okay, you're right. Give me the water."
I hand him the water and I give him more bread and whatever else that I get free.
Okay. He starts eating his bread and drinking the water, and you see him wipe his face once, and then it's like, "Yeah, I should do something with my life. I'm not going to Katniss right now, though."
That is fine. We are likely going to go elsewhere, anyways.
Okay. All right. So back to Judge and what is wrong with my brain today? Tavros. You guys go ahead and give me your charisma checks to see how well your rumor hunting goes.
Okay. Charisma, no investigation or anything else.
So how would you be investigating exactly? So what would you be doing to investigate?
Engaging people in conversation to see what they have to say. What news of the day type of excuse me. Be like what news of the day type of conversation, trying to just be
Okay.
engaging and proactive.
So you're proactively trying to engage people rather than just listening or whatever. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. All right. So Tavros, you hear vague rumors. You hear some people talking about a worm, and you're pretty sure they mean the lizard beast. Almost not a dragon, but something along those lines. And apparently, this creature lives somewhere in some cave between Ancus and Rhea watchtowers, and he's guarding some treasure, perhaps, but you're unable to find out what exactly. And Judge, you find out that the Halakis of Mathena is looking for new members, but apparently the reason that they're looking for new members right now, they're specifically looking for people with martial skills, survival skills, because apparently there's the ruins of Valolis up north. They've been trying to investigate. It's some sort of civilization that predates this one. And supposedly the snakes of Pharika lie within, among other treasures. So I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff down.
Okay.
So there's the lizard beast, worm lives in a cave, and then there's the Halakis of Mathena here.
Well, isn't that just terrifying?
So anyway, those basically what you two are able to find out, and we're gonna say that probably took some time. So you guys probably spent a good half an hour doing that. All right, so back to you, Cyclonin. What are you doing?
Yeah, as I said, I was going to the other temple.
Yep, the Temple of Mathena, and you arrive, and you probably see, when you arrive, you probably see Judge and Tavros kind of walking around, mingling and talking to people.
Hmm.
So what do you do?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and look for somebody that works here.
Okay, you find a priest, this time male, although you do see a female priestess inside. So, but this one seems to be more mixed. So as you approach, he notices you coming up to where the offering table is, 'cause that's where he is. You can see there's some incense going, and inside you see a giant statue of Mathena, and you see a pool sparkling inside, right in front of the statue, as well as bright red columns and various tapestries inside. And the priest kind of bows slightly, and he says, "Welcome. What brings you to this fine temple?"
Someone told me a sad tale about the goddess of the moon and the stars. I was wondering if you knew this story and could share the details.
He thinks for a moment, and you speak of Stella.
That is correct.
Yes, she was cast down because she attempted to weaken the power of the gods. She called it bringing the people to independence from the gods. But yet, the gods saw that with the creatures of the world and the forces arrayed, that the people without the gods would soon falter. And so, rightfully, they cast her down and caused her to live the last of her days amongst them, so she could see firsthand what their lives are truly like.
But would she have truly been mortal? In her passing, would she go to the same place that the rest of us do?
That isn't entirely clear. There are two schools of thought. One is that yes, she would be truly mortal, and upon dying, she would go to Erminig, and there she would be forever interred in the city of Siphun or the surrounding areas. However, the other school of thought is that once a god, if she dies as a mortal, she will simply cease to be, her soul forever eradicated. And thus the punishment of the gods is final.
Does anybody know where she died?
There is a small shrine to her passing. Not many know of it, but it is far north, to the east of the polis of Methina proper. Unfortunately, it is the season of storms upon us, and getting to the mainland is impossible. And besides, you signed a contract to become a colonist, correct? So, you will, of course, have to live those years here until the contract expires. So, I doubt you would have enough time back on the mainland to find it. But perhaps, once those years transpire, you can make a pilgrimage.
Well, it was more out of curiosity anyway. And just seeking knowledge about the gods in various aspects. One question though. I mean, it seems odd that if the gods had the power to cast each other down, would they not simply just war among themselves doing so until only the most powerful ones remain?
It is theoretically possible, but the elder gods, they oversee the process. And what's more, the vote to cast down another god must be unanimous. And that is very seldom true. Ask the gods to come to see some unanimous decision about something, and you will find more luck finding a single black grain of sand on a white beach.
You do make an excellent point. Do you know of any other gods who were cast down this way, or was it just this Stella?
There are partial records of others, but very little remains. Almost as if, well, some people believe anyway, that the records were destroyed, and which is why so few fragments remain. Perhaps the gods themselves did not want it to be known.
Well, I suppose if Stella was trying to undermine the power of the gods, I could see that being one of the rare cases where they would certainly be unanimous on this.
Although, there is a story that if you go through the steeps, or one of the rivers to the underworld, that you can find steps that will lead you all the way to Urmanig and to the sea. And it is said that in the center of the underworld is a city called Saifun. And there, within the city, where Drebos rules, it is said that there is a library where the lost knowledge of the gods reside. So some claim that could you arrive there, not dead of course, that you could gain this knowledge. However, only those who are known for sure to be able to go there are dead. Although there are stories of heroes that could somehow breathe the memory of the sea in the air, that is the memory of the sea, and somehow survive. I don't know if any of it's true though.
Well, that is all very fascinating. And it is interesting that as complicated as the world we experience is, the world we do not see is also equally so.
Yes. And according to some, the underworld is just as large as the world here. But who knows? He shrugs.
Well, I tip my hat to you. And I actually tip my hat to him, and make my way out of the temple.
All right. All right. So you make your way out of the temple, and Judge and Tavros have gathered some rumors. I'm going to go ahead and advance to 9 o'clock, and we'll go back to Darcy. Darcy, you've been feeding Sebastian water and bread, and obviously he's still a little tipsy, but you notice that he's a lot more coherent now than he was when he first came downstairs, and you can tell he's on his way to at least a partial recovery. And so he kind of looks up and he says, "So, why are you trying to help me so much anyway? Why do you care?" Nobody else seems to. He kind of waves his hand around.
Time to start rolling deception checks.
You have to deceive him. I saved his life earlier anyway, so he owes me. Not really.
Yeah,
But-
telling him that might not be a good idea.
Oh, definitely not. But it's for her. It's definitely an opportunity to get a follower. One follower, hadn't had those in a while. Need one of those right now. Carry my stuff.
All right. So what do you say?
He's a valet forever. Well, when I came upon you, you were dreaming and, well, not all coherent. And then you spoke of your friends. We know what happened. And you almost fell to their fate, but I happened to be around to distract you and dissuade you.
He nods. But why?
Why not? Just because I don't know you doesn't mean I should just let you die. That is cruel. And the world is cruel enough.
Okay. Well, you care more than most, I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm sure the people I know, my family, and and I met some people in the city that would care, but it just seems like most people are too busy with their everyday lives, their whatever it is they have to do, that they barely notice I exist.
Well, many people are caught up in their own lives. If you do not affect them directly, they see it is not their problem, not their business. And many are just callous. But that is why individuals should be an example against it. After all, the world is made up of people. If you want a better world, you must start yourself, no? Lead by example, yes.
I guess that makes sense. Okay, do you really want me to like go with you? I mean, you asked for a guide, but you guys have weapons and you guys can do things. Those places I said I've been to, that's it. I spend most of my life sheltered in the city. I don't see how I can be that useful.
Well, you're a bard, are you not? I'm a bard. You can play with me.
Well, I mean, I learned some instruments in the school. Yeah, I mean, but we all learn instruments. We all learn poetry. Some are better at it than others. I'm okay, I guess.
Well, you can become better. Besides, it would be a shame for you to experience such a harrowing thing, survive it, and then just go become some drunkard behind a temple. It wouldn't be good to honor your friends that way, and it would be a waste of your opportunity at a life.
Yeah, I get that now. Okay, I'll go with you guys if you'll have me, but I'm not to Katniss, so I'm not going there for a while.
That is fine. That is fine. We have many places we are interested in. And even if you don't know, you can learn with us.
But okay. If you go to Katniss, I'll wait for you though. I'll stay here, and you can come back and get me.
Don't worry about Katniss. I'm sure it'll be several days, if not weeks, before we go there.
Okay.
How are you feeling? You are drinking a lot last night, I assume, as well.
I have a headache, and yeah, I got a headache, and I should probably go lay down. I'm gonna go lay down.
No, come up here. We have a room still. Come up here.
Okay.
She's gonna lead him up to their room. To the room they shared, I guess, because I assume still have the key since she just came down.
Yeah. You guys haven't checked out yet.
And once she's up there, she's gonna like, I guess locks the door because she's gonna attempt something and hopefully reacts well.
Okay. What are you gonna attempt?
I'm gonna attempt to, like, I guess magically heal him.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna cast the Lesser Restoration then?
Yeah, she did say she wasn't that kind of bard.
Yeah, no.
Fair enough.
No. He is my valet, not my lover.
Fair enough.
He owns my stuff. That's what he's good for.
Okay. So yeah, if you cast Lesser Restoration in the room, nobody will really be able to hear you in there. The doors are pretty thick and everything. So you cast it, and it works. And he suddenly, looks at you. He's like, what happened? I feel great. My headache's gone. What were you doing? You were, I heard you chanting and waving. I didn't understand what you're saying, though, and you were waving your hands weird, and then you touched me, and all of a sudden I feel great. What are you? You see he's starting to back away a little.
Do not be afraid. Remember back at the pool when I played something and your head got clear?
Yeah.
That was also me. I have gifts that most mortals do not.
Mortals? Wait,
You know,
what are
people.
you?
I am a blessed person. We'll say that.
You're blessed. Go ahead and give
Yes.
me a persuasion check.
Here we go again. Do I need to inspire myself, or is it still hanging on?
How long does it last?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Ooh. Features. The bird inspired donation. Fire. The next 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's gone then.
Time to do it again because I do not trust this die. Never. Because if we're gonna have a human, we need him to kind of not be scared of magic stuff. Well, 2 is better than nothing. Okay, turn persuasion.
Okay, so he looks at you wide-eyed for a moment, and he says, "So you're blessed by the gods like an oracle?"
It's something like that. My friends are as well.
He suddenly you see him drop down to his knees and prostrate, and it's like, "Forgive me for not understanding."
Oh, It is fine. It is best that you. Please stand up. It is best that we keep these things secret. You, everyone is quite frightened of anything out of the norm. Understandably so.
He gets up and he says, "Okay, so I had to pretend like you're normal."
Yes, but don't be afraid if something my friends say or do is strange and something miraculous happens. We are all blessed beings. It is how we are able to do what we do and travel and experience things and survive.
So, you must have visited the Oracle of Keranos then. Can you take me with you next time you visit her?
DM, we have not done this, have we?
You have not.
No, we actually have not. We are from elsewhere, mainland. We are not from here.
Oh, but you need to visit the Oracle.
Very much so.
Okay, will you take me with you when you visit the Oracle?
You must follow us everywhere if you wish to go. We cannot promise to come back and get you every time.
He sits down. So does that mean I have to go to Katniss?
Eventually, yes.
He lets out a big sigh and is like, "Okay, I'll go to Katniss. Just tell me when we're going."
We will.
All right, going back to Tavros and Judge. So you've gathered some information. You've talked to some people for about half an hour or so. You learned about the cave and the worm. You learned about the Halakis of Mathena and the snakes of Pharica. So you've also noticed that Cyclonin, you probably saw him walk up to the temple, although he might not be there now. So what are you two going to do?
Probably just head back to the inn and see what everybody else is doing and see about how long it's been.
Okay, so you head back to the inn. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. You notice that there's no one at your table, although you also notice once you get over there that the jar that Sebastian was holding full of liquor is now on the floor next to the chair. But yeah, and you notice that most of the food is gone and pretty much all the bread. But they're not there at the moment. Tavros, are you going with them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what do you two do once you get to the table? And sitting down and waiting for everybody is fine as an answer if that's what you want to do.
Well, seeing as how nobody's here, I suppose I would go just check the rooms real quick, and if they're not up there, then I would wait downstairs. But,
Okay, yeah. If you go check the rooms, you'll find one of the rooms closed, and you'll hear Darcy's voice, and probably Sebastian on the other side, but it's muffled because the door's blocking the sound.
Okay, I'll just gently tap on the door and say in Celestial, loud enough to go through the door but not booming loud. We're back and we'll be in the other room.
Okay. All right, so Cyclonin, you've just finished your discussion with the at the temple. So what do you do now?
Well, I think that was everything that I was trying to look for, so I'll go back and see how everything is going with Darcy and her groupie.
Okay, yep. And once you arrive, you two notice that the table is empty, And you also notice that the jar of alcohol that Sebastian was carrying around is left on the floor.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up and give it a whiff.
Yeah, see how good it is.
So yeah, it seems to be it still seems to be a wine, but you definitely smell you get a smell and it's basically their strongest wine, their most most heavily alcoholic wine.
That's where his money went.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste then.
It's tastes good, and if you like alcohol, you definitely would like this. I mean, it's not quite a whiskey or something, but for wine, it's as close as it's gonna get.
He has been holding out on me. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll just hold on to that.
Okay. All right. So are you gonna stay at the table, or are you gonna go upstairs as well?
I guess I'll just stay at the table.
Okay. All right. Back to you, Darcy. You finish your conversation, and you heard what Judge said. So what do you do now?
What did you say?
Tyler, go ahead and repeat what you said.
Oh, I just kind of mumbled through the door in Celestial that we're back and we'll be in the other room if you need us.
All right. I answer back in Celestial.
All right. So what do you do? And that's for everybody now. You're basically all in the inn. You're in 2 different rooms plus 1 person downstairs. So as a group, what do you guys do?
So all our people have returned physically, or not quite yet?
Not yet, but if you guys want to wait the couple hours, I can advance time forward if you just want to hang out until everybody else shows up.
I was going to give you a little more time to reel in your valet and
Yeah,
probably
our new human friend.
and we probably want to be in a room, not out in the open when our other 2 friends pop back into being.
Well, that's the thing. Who do they exactly pop back to? Because we're going to be in 2 separate rooms. We're not exactly all grouped together. And I really don't need a critter person popping in the room with me.
They'll generally go to the
they'll-
largest mass of people in the party.
And not only that, we don't want that happening out in public where everybody can see people just arrive.
Exactly. So you all huddle up in there, and I'll be in here with the human.
Okay.
Okay, so are we advancing 4 hours?
Yeah,
Before we-
basically, Darcy's just going to talk to him, but go ahead.
Before we do, I'm gonna ask Judge and Tavros. So, how did your worship go?
Well, I found some interesting things. Apparently, the vagrant knew Minos. And I'll go ahead and
Does
pull
he
out
now?
the scroll of Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull out the scroll of Minos and hand it to the fortunate son as a little reminder, and it's like perhaps maybe they are using or talking about the same tower. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, you know, I know Delena personally. And I was drinking buddies with Saint Deal. Anyone can say they know someone famous.
Yes, but is this Minos actually famous, or was he just one of the workers in the tower, or in the Temple of Dill, I should say?
For the record, if somebody wants to see what he's talking about, if you click on the book, you can go to handouts, and then you can see the scrolls, and one of them is titled Menace, and you can just open that to see. Go ahead.
Well, we know of this person, and apparently has a tower named after him, and must have some power if he can be a custodian of some sort of artifact.
I'm not 100% sure that is the proper time of events. I'm thinking this Minos was a nobody, not famous or powerful in any way, really. Just working at the Temple of Dill when he met this vagrant. And that's when the vagrant told him the story about the tower, which is where he went out to find the tower, only he was not afraid of it like this vagrant was. That's what I'm thinking. He might have become more powerful or famous later. Either way, it's more than a coincidence.
Well, perhaps. What is Darcy doing with her new friend?
I believe she's trying to sober him up and convince him to carry her bags.
Davros, what do you think of these vagrant?
I think he's got an interesting story. I don't know if I believe him or not, but
Well, if his story is true, then what?
I mean, I think it's worth investigating.
He did say that Minos was the only one who believed him, but well, we shall see. If we cannot get our little human guide to take us to Cantonese right away, he wants to go look at this tower. At least we know what to expect from the tower. Possibly this Minos fellow from the scroll, and possibly some bandits along the way.
Well, if this vagrant met this Menos person, why would we want to disturb this person?
This Minos person?
Yes.
He was... Oh, it's not like he is a god.
Are we
He
seeking
was
his help?
simply- Last I checked, you were interested in the artifact he had removed from the Tower of Deal. As just a human, I do not know if he can actually wield such an artifact. Pretty sure we can.
Take it from him?
Maybe it should have some power that we could advance our own cause with, yeah?
Well, if this vagrant knows this Menos so well, why do we not just have him schedule a meeting with the person?
I'm pretty sure that is not how the situation is. He only said that Minos believed his story and probably went out to look for himself. These are just humans with no magic. It's not like they've got sending stones.
No, but if you yourself are arguing that this Menos is no one famous, and yet this vagrant is on a first name basis with this person,
No, I did not
Perhaps
say that he is no one famous, but I believe he's not in so high a station when he had first found out about the tower and talked to this vagrant.
Well, whatever the thing, I feel like this tower can wait. We really need to establish ourselves first.
Well, perhaps Darcy is making some headway with her little guide there. Get him to get to Cantonese. I have a feeling if we just leave him off on his own, we'll be dead before we get back.
That is a very real possibility. Especially if it turns out that this Menos person isn't as friendly as he may seem to think. Actually, never mind, I confused myself there. But,
You've confused us all, but that's alright.
I do not... I mean, it is an open question as to how welcoming this Menos is of visitors.
Because of that scroll and what it says, I'm going to say not likely, but it's always the possibility to talk. But as you had yourself pointed out, if we need to register in Cantonese first, then if you could convince him to come there with us. Either that or Darcy's little pet project is not going to survive very long. Yeah.
Well, we'll wait for Darcy to come down and find out what happened. In the meantime, this is not going to drink itself. Take another swig of that guy's wine.
Okay.
Drink it all before he can get any.
Hey,
Just
he
kinda
can't
sighs.
dibs on it.
Well,
I mean, it was his,
No.
but just steal it.
if nothing
It
else,
was
it's better
abandoned.
down your gullet than his. You can
So,
handle your
Tavros, do you
something
have
better.
anything to add?
No, I mean, I agree we should probably go to, Cantonese.
Okay.
But,
All right. So let me know when you guys are ready for me to advance time, or you can continue discussing if you want.
Darcy, was there anything else you needed to do with Guy?
He said he only knew certain places, so he wouldn't know about the other things you've been hearing about, right?
Oh,
Well, he said he wanted to go find off the tower or something, but if you were able to convince him to be our guide, maybe we can get to Cantonese first, which is where.
I convinced him that he would go to Cantonese, but we'd have to tell him first. So just us being like, no, it's fine, we get it. You're mourning your friends, and then yeah, we're going to Cantonese. Get over yourself. Be the tour guide. Chop chop.
Okay.
That's probably not going to be the best.
all right. So what are you guys gonna do? You gonna wait, or are you still gonna do something else?
I guess we can advance time.
Oops.
Oh my goodness.
Too much. There we go. All right. So as we advance time in the room with Tavros and Judge, I'm assuming you guys are in your room right now.
Yeah, it would have been Tavros, Judge, and the Fortunate Son.
Oh, Cyclone, and you're in there as well. Okay. Anyway.
We were talking.
Yeah. So in that case, the other two members of the group suddenly you see a burst of light, and you see them standing there. So Gizzard, you show up in the room with three of the party members. So what do you say, if anything?
Hello. I'm
Hey.
back.
welcome.
Welcome, Gizzard. I am sorry for my role in sending you to your death.
It is okay. It was a reasonable decision, I think.
If it helps any, your death actually helped the rest of us escape alive.
Good.
We should give you a couple of minutes now. You want to make sure to be all pink and soft and squishy.
Oh, what now?
Human form, my
Pink?
friend. Human form.
Oh, okay.
So, Gizzard, you have on your character sheet, make sure to put down that you have 1 level of exhaustion. It's on your first page because of the fact that you just came back from death. And
Okey-dokey.
Conglomerate will get the same thing. I'm actually going to mark Conglomerates for him. If you rest in Civilization, you take a long rest in Civilization, that'll go away. If you rest like in a campsite in the jungle or whatever, then you'll have to make a con save.
Okay. Sounds good. It said 1 point of exhaustion, correct?
Yeah. So
Okay, perfect. I did it.
Yeah. So basically, each level of exhaustion has different effects in 5e. With the first level, I believe you have disadvantage on ability checks,
Okay. Cool.
and it gets worse and worse, and then eventually you'll die, etc. Anyway.
Gotcha.
All right, so it's noon now. You have your entire party. Conglomerate is not saying anything for whatever reason. So what do you guys do next?
He's probably still trying to talk psychically.
I'll
Wait,
go
we're in
across
separate
the-
rooms at the moment still?
You're
Yeah,
both
we
in
have
two
two
rooms.
rooms.
Darcy is in the other room talking to Sebastian. You guys have 2 rooms. Order 2 rooms so that there's enough sleeping space for the 6 of you.
But I suppose we should let Darcy know that the party is whole again.
I was just thinking that. Go across the hallway and gently knock on the door.
Yay. I'm here. I'm alive.
Darcy, you hear the knock.
I announce.
Yes.
We are all whole again.
Oh, wonderful. So, what have we all decided? Where shall we be heading?
Well, the fortunate son was to head to Cantonese, and I understand why, getting the registered, and I know your work in progress, with just like an eyebrow raised, is thinking about going to the tower. We have found some more information on that, but maybe you've had enough time to convince him to just come to Cantonese with us and get what we need to get done. We do need to get it done once we're down there.
I will speak with him. One moment. And I'm gonna turn to Sebastian. How's he doing? It's been hours. He should be well rested and everything else.
Oh yeah, he's actually feeling pretty good. His headache's gone. You can tell he's
Is
still
there
sad,
anybody-
obviously, but physically he's in great condition.
Is there anybody in the hallway, or was I just standing in the hallway with the door cracked talking to Darcy?
I'm assuming you were in the hallway, talking.
Yeah, but is
Um,
there anybody else in the hallway is what I was asking. Anybody to see these
there's
things?
probably someone walking down the hallway to their room.
Alright, can I wait for half a beat to get nobody in the room?
Sure. You for a while the hallway's empty, but you don't know how long that's gonna last.
For 6 seconds, Darcy, you have guidance.
Yay! What does that do?
Adds a d4 to whatever your persuasion roll is to convince him to go with us.
Can this stack? Is the question.
And I waited for nobody.
Yes, because it's not the same as inspiration.
Exactly. Can this stack?
It should,
Yeah.
unless it specifically tells you it doesn't. You
All
can't
above.
stack the
Stack.
same ability over and over, but you can
Oh.
use different abilities unless they say different.
Yeah. Yeah, and guidance does stack. But I waited till nobody was around because it is magic, and so I don't need to worry about it.
Right? I can just. You now have happy bardic inspiration.
All right. So what are you saying to Sebastian, if anything?
Yeah. Well, he's told me to tell him when it's happening, and apparently it's happening.
Okay. What do you
I know
say?
it's only 24 hours, but.
We got another day before we go.
Yeah, I guess. It's time to get over your dead friends and buck up. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna need more than 4 just in case I roll awfully, which I do not trust these die. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna stack.
All right, can I go ahead? Well, am I still there in the room, or you went ahead and shut the door to do this?
I didn't shut the door. You can just sit there awkwardly at my door if you want. That's fine.
I just have my head in there trying to give you the help action real quick.
Okay. How are you gonna do that? So what are you gonna say to help? Well, actually, Darcy
Well-
should probably say whatever she's gonna say first, and then
First.
you can figure out what
Yeah.
you're gonna do to help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the idea.
So what do you say, Darcy?
Well, my friends have all gathered. We are all here. Unfortunately, we do need to register. So we will be needing to go to Cantonese very soon, in fact. Almost as soon as we can.
Okay.
Sounds
A
like a
little
plan.
extra coin maybe for your grief, but we do need to get this done a little more urgently. We can go to that tower very much afterwards.
Okay. I'll give you advantage for that. So go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage plus your add-ons.
Persuasion. Oh no. There we go. Goodness. Yeah.
He seemed kind of hang his head, and he says, "Yeah, you know, I should visit my family while we're there. So I'll go with you, and while you're doing your business, I'll go visit my family and tell them I'm okay and tell them what happened. They'll have to contact the other families, and I guess it's only right. So I'll go with you, but I'm gonna have to spend some time where I'm not leading you around. But if you said something about registering, if that's true, I can tell you where to go.
Well, certainly that would be helpful.
So okay, I'll do it.
Darcy, you didn't even use your add-ons.
That's all right.
Yeah, she got a
It was-
22, so that was already good enough.
All right. And it's just even more. So it's just like, nope, you got to do the right thing. Tell your face.
Yeah, I mean that's why. That's why he's thinking all that, because it's like, yeah. You know, I got to do the thing.
Well, roll your d4 because you're at a 27 right now.
Okay.
I mean, hey, you might be inspiring this person to be like, you know what? You're right. I really need to take this head on. There we go, 29.
That's right.
Yep. So he says, yeah, I'll tell you where to go, and then I gotta visit my family, and we gotta hash this out. We'll need they'll probably I'll need to go to the funeral once it happens. So hopefully you guys can stay long enough for that. It'll just be a couple of days, and then I'll go with you to wherever.
There we go.
Thank you. I know this is hard for you, but it's probably best to to tell them and get this over with than to linger upon it. You can heal faster that way.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I would do if you guys didn't come along. Well, I'd probably be dead now, but even after that.
If it is okay with you, I wish to attend the funerals with you.
Of course, I'll tell my family how you guys saved me, and then I'm sure they'll invite you with open arms.
As I have said before, I fully intend to avenge their deaths, and I would be honored to carry the memory of them with me as I do so.
He looks at you and says, he kind of bows his head and says, "Thank you."
Oh, this reminds me. Excuse me. And she's gonna leave Sebastian in the room and kind of like shoo Judge and the others that have kind of huddled around the door. He's like, "All right, we're here, group meeting. Shoo out of the room. Privacy."
And as you're shooing in the other room, you hear people walking up the steps, and you see a small group talking to each other and walking down the hall as you guys enter your room.
Well, they can have their party on the other floor. We've got our own things going on. Yeah, so I get everybody in the room, and I'm like, all right. Now, I may have revealed a few things to our compatriot next door. He believes we are blessed peoples. He does not know our divine beings. He just thinks we are blessed. Oracles and,
Cursed is more like it.
Well,
As long as
it
you're
is much
not freaking
easier.
out.
Yes, it is much easier to say we are blessed than to say, oh no, we are gods. It is no big deal. We are only holy beings that look completely different than you. So, I feel baby steps, First we are blessed. Maybe when he sees giant cricket man and lizard and you giant kitty cat, yeah, he'll deal with that when we get there. But for now.
About 20 minutes from now.
Look,
With any luck, a little longer, but now we understand. Sorry, go ahead.
It will not be in the city. Also, I am goat lady, so yes, we are all a little odd looking. But baby steps. Also, we should be used to get used to looking human for as long as possible. We will be in more populated areas, so
Well, I am not the one who needs to be reminded of this.
Don't worry, we will all keep our heads about us, yes?
If worse comes to worse, I will hide under this fine hat.
And a very fine hat it is.
Indeed.
If only your tail could be so hidden.
I guess I can tuck it out of the way.
Uncomfortable, but up in the armor where you cannot see.
Well, Puss in Boots. We'll get there when we get there.
So when do we set out?
I assume whenever we're all ready. Would it
My
be wise to
estimation-
set up so?
My estimation would be tomorrow morning so that the rest of our group can recover fully from very unfortunate circumstance.
Well,
Mhm.
it's not all that late right now, and if I understand correctly, Catanese is only a day away. Is that not correct?
In that case, when would you like to be heading out?
The sooner the better. It would
You
feel
wish to
better if
camp on the road?
sorry, what was that?
You want to camp on the road at night?
No, I want to camp at Catanese when we get there in the evening.
Can we still make it? by nightfall?
Well, why don't we ask our guide how far away it is?
I was
Or
actually
how-
asking Jeremy if we knew that.
I don't think you do. You did see the signs that showed you numbers, in fact, actually, you could go outside at the front, look at the sign if you wanted to.
Well, I
I
seem
think
to
the
remember
sign
this
said
came up
14.
before, and I was pestering about how long it would take as opposed to the distance.
Yeah. So actually, I'll just show it to you. Here's the sign that you saw outside, and basically, you guys have probably figured this out by now, but during a single travel turn, which is 4 hours, you guys can travel 12, essentially 12 miles, or 12 hexes, assuming you're not on rough terrain, which if you're following the road, you wouldn't be. Half that if you're on rough terrain, and half that again if you're on double rough terrain, etc. Based on that, the 14 means it would take you, maybe 5 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I can see us doing that from this afternoon to this evening. So yeah, we would be able to make it there in one day. We wouldn't have to rest on the road. We would just get there right after dinner.
Oh boy, I get to play for food.
We have money. But if
Nah.
you wish to
And
perform,
you have an
I
assistant.
know it is in your blood.
Hmm.
An assistant? Do you know nothing about show business? It's a
If
fellow cast member.
it pays to play, the more I play, the more I am known. The more I am known, the more I am revered.
That is fine. That does not sound like quite the burden, though.
Says you.
Well, it is as they say. I could not act my way out of a paper bag.
Hmm. But you can find the bottle hidden within it.
Indeed. And I go ahead and take a swig out of that guy's jug.
All right.
Well, it's my jug now. In fact, I should add it to my inventory.
Sure.
Excuse you, that is not yours.
Yes, it is. I found it abandoned.
Hmm. So,
Surely you're not going to tell me it is yours.
well, let's say it is. The thing is, I have taken an interest in the human that it actually belongs to.
Ah, well, in that case, it is in your best interest to let me keep it.
Hmm. Is it though? I think you have enough.
Well, okay, if you really want him to be drunk, I can make sure he is drunk.
No. How about you give it to me? Last time I checked, you weren't the god of drink, so what gives?
How big was this jug?
It was probably about this big. It was like it's like a bottle like this big, with the handle on it.
Hey, that's tall. How much is left in it?
It's probably about halfway. It's probably pretty heavy. 5-10 pounds.
Allow me some time to deliberate. Wait, you said 5 or 10 pounds?
Yeah.
Well, if it,
There is just you just sitting here like, I'll think about it. Let me just get another 25% of this down.
hey, I have not publicly. I cannot confirm or deny that plan. All right. Well, if it's 5 or 10 pounds, would make it about a gallon worth. I want to say still.
Okay.
All I can think of is the stereotypical moonshine XX brown bottle.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ceramic stylized version of that.
Yep. Well, look at it this way. He holds his liquor a bit better than your new pet, so.
It is not
Perhaps
for
your
the
new pet
pet,
not
it's for
having it.
me.
Oh,
And seeing as he is apparently my pet, his things are my things. And she's gonna, like, reach for the booze bottle. Besides, last I checked, you had plenty. You have been storing away.
It is all
Judge
consumable.
stands back of this.
So the question is, are you letting her grab it, or are you trying to keep it away?
No, I'm holding it away. I'll even put out like a paw and kind of keep her at arm's length if it comes down to it.
Oh my god.
I would like to mage hand.
All right, go ahead and give me a I guess a contested dex. So contested dex. check.
Dex, I'm already holding it. All I got to do is grip it. A mage hand is really weak.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get over a strength, so it'd be a contested strength check actually.
It's more of her trying to like swat at him. And kind of like, oh, you're pushing me away. Well, I'm going to push at the bottle.
Well, then while that's going on, I'm going to try and take a drink from it. If you want the bottle back, let me empty it first.
Stop being a pig.
I am going.
He's not a pig, he's a cat. A pig is one of the animals we did not get.
I know, right? We got almost all the animals. How do I roll?
Okay.
How do I roll to smack?
Just go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Attack roll with my
Unarmed attack.
Okay, where is that?
I think it would probably be strength. I think attack rolls, unfortunately, go under strength. So yeah, it'd be a d20 plus your strength plus proficiency if you're proficient in unarmed, which you probably are. I think everybody is.
Well, no, I don't. Hold on. I'm a special goat person. So let me look at this.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can.
Yeah, you might actually have a claw or something. So in which case, just use that.
I would like to ram him. You're getting the horns, good sir.
All right.
You use your head and horns to make unarmed strikes. When you hit with them, the strike deals 1d6 plus your strength modifier, bludgeoning damage instead of the bludgeoning damage roll of an unarmed strike. Okay.
If you're in goat form, so are you switching back to goat form?
I will, because we're just hanging out.
Okay, go for it then. Make the roll.
Okay. 1d6 plus your strength modifier. Okay. Wait.
You should just be able to click on the d20 to do a hit roll, because you still have to hit.
Okay, yeah. Ring. Oh, that's 2. Minus, please. Oh my god. Just block all of that out. Buttons.
Let's see. Open your character, features, RAM. Yeah, just click on the d20 next to the left of the RAM. Oh, there you go. And then hit attack.
Yeah. No. I'm terrible.
You go to ram him, but yeah, Cyclone just casually steps out of the way.
Well, I guess I broke furniture.
Yep, you ram and you hit a wall or a dresser, and next thing you know, you hear from the other room, kind of a shaky voice. Well, what's going on over there? It's Sebastian. All right, Cyclone, she just tried to ram you, and you dodged it. But what are you gonna do next?
And she's in her satyr form?
She is.
You have made a mistake. I go ahead and open the door, step out. I go ahead and head on downstairs.
Okay. All right, Darcy, what are you doing next?
And I do make sure to close the door behind me.
Okay.
God, I hope so.
He fled. He ran away from your awesomeness. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I offer Darcy a hand up. I
He
imagine when she
is very
slammed.
upset with Spaghetti, and she kind of like swats your hand away because I don't need anyone's help.
Oh, perhaps the drink is better in his gullet than your pet's because he handles it a little better.
It is not for the pet, it's for me. I may not be drunk like certain cowardly cat, but
I reach into my bag and I pull out a bottle of actually nice wine, better than whatever battery acid he was drinking. And
Right. It's like moonshine up in there.
I just kind of hand it down to you and say, "You have better."
well,
And I'm
I
going
believe there is one gentleman in this group of heathens.
Okay, inventory.
Says the goat lady.
You try to fight somebody over beef.
Can we got a roll or something to figure out the? I guess I need to know how much is actually in this jug. 'Cause 5 of 10 is actually a pretty big difference. It's like a half gallon versus a gallon.
Sure. So we'll go ahead and split the difference and say it's 7.
So 3/4 of a gallon, 3/4 of a gallon.
All right, perfect. All right, got that on my sheet. That'll make my mead last a little longer.
So yeah, you go downstairs. You notice that they're cleaning up the table at this point. So what do you do once you get down there?
Well, I don't need to sit at a table. Are there any like just chairs that are by themselves?
Yeah, I mean against the walls near the door, there's some chairs to kind of wait at or sit if you don't have a table. So sure. You notice though that unlike places you've probably been to in your own world, there's no actual chairs around what you would consider to be the bar. People just go up, pull out their jugs and food, and go pay, and that's basically all that happens there.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and probably go to the fancier temple. I have a quick question to ask there.
Okay, you start heading to the Temple of Methina, and in the meantime, Darcy and Judge and Gizzard, you're all in the room, and as far as I know, Darcy, you're still in goat form. So what are you three doing?
I'm gonna let her change back into non-goat form before we open the door.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it takes changing back to godling form is or demigod form is pretty much instant, but changing into human form takes 10 minutes. So I'll just assume you're going to wait those 10 minutes.
Broccoli sit on a bed and drink some of the fancy wine he gave me and wait. Yes.
Fair enough. And as you're waiting, you hear a kind of quiet voice through the wall. Is everything okay over there?
Everything's fine. Just accidentally knocked something over.
Okay. All right. So your 10 minutes passes. Cyclonan's downstairs. You guys are in your room. So
No, I'm at the temple.
Oh, yeah, you're at the temple. So okay, yeah. So 10 minutes passes. Yes, that's enough time to get to the temple and do whatever. So what are you gonna do?
I'm going to ask at the temple. Is there another one of these temples that got the knees?
Yes, there's a grand temple of Methina in Katniss. It is, after all, the patron goddess of the polis of Methina. And as you already know, of course, the polis of Methina is it's the colony. It's the polis that is financing this colony. We are considered as a part of that polis as well. Are you from Methina, or did you contract on from another place?
From another place. I come from a very distant land, and without going into detail, the circumstances of my arrival here are surprisingly chaotic, so I am still trying to get my bearings.
I see. Very good. Do you have another question?
No, that was all. I plan to be returning to Catanese soon, and hopefully to spend more time this time, and wanted to make sure I knew what was available there. I appreciate your time.
Of course.
And then, as I go back to the inn, I stare at the jug, kind of swish it around, think a bit, and I'm gonna drink some of it.
All right. So you drink some of it as you arrive at the inn. All right then. So it is now about 12:30. So what are you guys gonna do? Everybody's at the inn, although you're some of you in a room and one of you is probably still downstairs. But everybody is in their human form again.
I'm gonna wait downstairs. Hopefully somebody has mending.
I think I do. Let me double check that though.
Is there even a hole to mend?
I do.
I don't think you actually hit, so I don't think there is.
Yeah.
We're
yeah,
good. There's no damage.
yeah, he missed. So yeah, no damage.
I thought there was some furniture that got knocked around.
Oh yeah, yeah, okay. The furniture, that makes sense.
But is it damaged or just knocked over?
Actually roll damage and find out.
Whee! Property damage. Okay, what was it?
You just click
Okay.
damage in the thing that's already in the chat.
Oh my god. Click. Model.
There you go.
Yeah.
1 point? Yeah, you just knocked it over. No damage. I guess for this one time, your low roll actually was a good thing.
Yeah. She's a performer, not a fighter.
Fair enough.
So you don't sign up for action plays?
I mean, as long as all the stunts are just smoke and mirrors.
You could film the first Die Hard at the temple or at the tower.
Alrighty.
Darcy McLean.
Fair enough.
I never saw Die Hard.
Alright, so
Whatever, I.
it's like I said, it's 12:30. So what are you guys gonna do?
Time to head on out.
Go on the road again.
Yep. Up, gotta gather my human.
All right. Yeah, he gets up and he says, "All right. Well, this is all I have." And you see, he was wearing a small pack that he was probably wearing when he came down, since he was checking out. He says, "Yeah, this is all I got. It was supposed to just to be a short trip. I didn't expect things to go the way they did."
I'm sure none of us did.
Oh, he's got his little rucksack on a stick.
All right. So you guys gather up and assume everybody heads downstairs and meets up.
Mhm.
Oh wait, wouldn't his friends
Yep,
have
sounds
left
good to
their
me.
stuff?
Yeah, actually, no, they wouldn't have, because they all paid in advance. So no, actually, they're okay. One thing they did leave, however, that you just now realized that probably happened, and Sebastian apparently has not realized yet, is they probably have all their stuff somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, because if he has his little backpack of things, wouldn't they have their backpack of things?
You just think of that. As far as Sebastian goes, he's like, "Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's go."
Wouldn't your friends have backpacks of things?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. When I left my room, I was kind of in a daze, and I just grabbed my stuff. But yeah. Um. Oh. Oh. Wait. Um. No. Um. They. I remember how they went to um the 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 springs. They had their backpacks with them.
Oh,
Um. Yeah. I think we'd have to go back there to get their stuff.
it's probably blessed we don't.
Okay. He hangs his head. I kind of forgot about that.
Rip.
All right, so everybody meets downstairs. You notice as you get together that for some reason Sebastian seems sadder than he did a few minutes ago.
It'll be fine.
All right, so what do you guys do? You gonna head out?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
We go.
So you head out of the watch tower.
Oh. And while I'm waiting for them, I make sure to tuck the jug away, keep it out of sight.
Yeah, keep your stolen goods.
Fair enough.
Finders keepers, losers sweepers.
He's leaping all right.
Fair enough. All right. So yeah, you head out, and it's still about 12:30, and you get on the road, and so you can go ahead and move your token. The dashed line in the jungle is where the road kind of passes through the jungle, and if you stay on the road, you can move 12 hexes in a turn. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to move 4 for now. So who's gonna move? You notice as you enter that your visibility within the dense jungle is drastically reduced, as you can see from the on-screen graphics. And the trees get really dense, and the canopy kind of blocks out most of the sunlight, and except for dappled sun here and there. And it gets noticeably darker as you go into the dense jungle. And as you're traveling through the jungle, you've noticed for a while now, as you've been traveling along the road, that there have been kind of shadowy shapes. You can see kind of passing through the trees, and especially you, Cyclonin, you recognize the shapes to be some sort of panther. Except there are many of them. And as 4 hours pass, I'm sorry, not 4 hours, about 2 hours pass. As 2 hours pass, you notice along the side of the road a particularly large panther with bright yellow eyes. It seems to be staring at you as you pass by. And the thing you notice is, to this creature, it's almost like Sebastian doesn't exist. It never looks at him. But it looks specifically at every other person, the party member, in turn, and stares at each person for a while and kind of walks, almost like it's trying to gauge something or figure something out. And every once in a while, you'll see other travelers go along the road as well, going the same direction or the different direction, and they don't seem to notice all these panthers. And this large panther doesn't seem to pay them any heed. So, do you do anything, or do you just keep traveling?
I noticed the local wildlife is taking an unhealthy interest in us. And us specifically.
It does not necessarily bode well. Do you,
And to further clarify, the 6 of us specifically.
yeah. The, more interesting of our group.
Well, we do have places to be, but I think we need to be ready for a fight.
True. We should be prepared.
All right. So, are you going to continue traveling along the road, or are you going to do something else?
Is anybody able to find some insight on these creatures? What if they are not beasts?
From what you can see, you know, the kind of shapes of the panthers, and the large panther. It looks like a panther, just you know, much larger. But the thing that strikes you about its bright yellow eyes is you can see intelligence in there.
Is
Perhaps
this
we
like
could
an
ask a question.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, perhaps we could ask a question, see if it responds in some way.
That is
Well-
not a bad idea.
Do we ask it as normal people, or do we ask it in its own language?
I get the impression it knows things about us, so
But we are not alone, and there are others on the road.
Actually, are there any others aside from?
You've seen
Sebastian?
some others going along the thoroughfare. It seems to be despite going through the thick jungle, it does seem to be a fairly major thoroughfare. It's not a lot of traffic right now, but you definitely do see people going both directions.
well, if it turns to conflict, we probably will not have the luxury of camouflage. Our camouflage is failing us with these creatures, so it would seem. And there was once a
These
time
creatures,
when
are
I
they
could take
pagan?
an alternate form. Much like that, in fact. Perhaps some
these
of...
creatures, are they also being wary of all the other traffic on this road? Are they being leery of
Nobody else
showing
that
themselves
you
to the humans?
nobody else that you've seen walking by seems to be noticing them.
Yeah.
And the creatures don't seem to be paying the other people any mind either.
Maybe they can't see the panthers for some reason. Maybe only we can.
Perhaps we should ask Sebastian if he sees any. Like point directly at one and see what he says.
Is that what you're doing?
Excuse me, Sebastian.
Yeah.
I think I hear something over there. Do you see anything?
He squints at the direction you point, and you're pointing at one of the panther shadows, and he says, it's kind of dark over there. Well, what am I supposed to be looking at?
I do not know. I just hear the sound.
Oh, I didn't really hear anything.
And are these shadows? I mean, I guess these shadows are fairly obvious if I just notice them.
Yeah, they seem to be fairly obvious, but they don't stay in sight very long. It's kind of like you'll see like one jumping through, or you'll see one appear and then go thicker into the jungle and disappear, that kind of thing.
What do you think? They seem unwilling to just announce their presence with certain other people around. Perhaps we should just travel and be wary of them, but they might not jump out and attack.
Well, I am going to try Gizzard's suggestion. And I guess in Celestial, I'll say good afternoon.
As you say that, the larger panther with the bright yellow eyes kind of stops in front of you, and you see it kind of steps slightly out of the jungle, just enough that you can get a clear view. And you see this deep black panther with these piercing yellow eyes and clear white teeth, and it stares straight at you and says, "Why are you here, godlings? This is the territory of the goddess Delena. It is not for you."
We do not wish to stay in this territory. We merely wish to travel to Catades. We mean no ill intent.
Pass through, godlings, but do not enter my jungles.
Understood.
And it goes back into the jungle, but you can tell that it's still nearby watching.
Stick to the road. Got it.
They have kindly allowed us passage. I recommend that we do not abuse their hospitality.
Yes.
All right, when you're ready, you can move 8 more hexes if you stay on the road.
As we're walking away, what was the name of that goes again?
Delena, I think.
Turn to... What's that?
Yeah, you recognize Delena, the goddess Delena, because you met her once before at the Temple of Deal.
Oh, okay, her. Yeah. I gotta try and keep all these other gods straight.
As you continue to travel, the as you get there and you get to the crossroads, Sebastian will point this way, and sorry.
Crossroads.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
he'll point
do I need to be here?
to the east. Anyway, as you're traveling along the jungle, the path through the jungle, the road through the jungle, the panthers continue to follow and watch, but they never actually come out of the jungle again. And then finally, you exit the jungle and you find yourself once again. You can see the ocean in the distance, and ahead of you, you see a large walled city. And you can see as you're starting to pass through that as you get closer to the city, there are fields and there are villas and villages that you pass through on the way, and you can see that the traffic on the road becomes thicker as people travel from these villages and villas to the city itself. So you can go ahead and make the rest of the way up to the city. All right. So as you approach the city, you notice that the walls themselves seem to rise 25 feet from the ground, and from what you can tell, they're around 8 feet thick. You can see above the hill, a large hill that rises above the walls, topped with grand structures similar to the Temple of Deal, but much larger. The roads leading to the city are surrounded by fields and small villages and villas. Many plants clearly not native to the region can be seen growing here, such as olive trees. Homes and villas that you see appear clean and white on the outside, with orange, brown, and red roofing. And the main road itself curves around so that you approach the city from the south. As you approach on the main road, carts move past you, going in either direction, and imposing gates stand ahead, flanked with guards wearing metal armor, with metal shields with the face of Mathena circled with bright red and trimmed at the edges with the sea blue color. So let me go ahead and change maps. Alright, so we'll go ahead and activate that. Alright, so you've arrived. Now, one thing to note about this map is that in the world map, the port is to the east, and so this whole map is kind of rotated 90 degrees. You're actually showing up right now from the southwest, here, and then down is east, and then straight across to the right is north, etc. So as you approach the gates, and once you arrive at the gates, you notice that the guards seem to be stopping people at the gates and talking to them. And as you arrive, they'll stop you as well. And you hear one of them announce, "Stop there, please. State your business."
We are here to register. Due to some unfortunate circumstances outside of our control, we were forced to enter the island in an unconventional fashion, and we still need to complete our paperwork.
I see. I will. I understand. I hope you do not mind, but we've had some issues lately, and would like to do a quick search of your persons. Do you have any objections?
Ruh-roh.
Do we have anything like?
Contraband.
I mean, we got somebody has a crap ton of booze on them.
Uh,
And
Whatever.
we do have weapons, so
Hey,
If
I'm
there's
sure
no-
Sebastian doesn't have that much.
if there's a no weapons policy, then maybe we'll have to quote unquote give them up. But I don't know about
Yes.
Mr. Walking Distillery over here, but yeah, I don't think we have anything else that's suspicious.
A search should be just fine.
Very good. I will. He kind of waves over some other guards, and I walk over. We'll make this quick. And there's actually a guard for each person. And so they go through and they search you. And remembering what you guys have, I don't think you guys have anything that they particularly latch on. They do notice your weapons, and one of them says, "I see that as a group you are quite well armed. May I ask why so? What is your business? I don't mean you needing to register, but what is your business here at the colony?"
Well, we were going to be exploring a great deal of remote locations, and it was our understanding that the wilderness can be quite dangerous indeed.
I see. Well then, my suggestion is one of them reaches into a sack, and then he kind of rifles through some scrolls, and then he pulls out one of them, and he says, "Here," and he hands you a scroll, and he says, "You would do well to seek out the Halakis of Mathena, and there, that it is a what do they call? How do they describe it? A historical society. They hire various people like yourselves to explore and clear out old ruins and other things in the islands. Apparently, there's this ancient civilization that long predates ourselves. That they have ruins all throughout the islands. Anyway, you will need some sort of official work that requires weaponry to go in and out of the city. However, you are yet to register, so I will let it pass for now. But just know that you will be watched for a while. Just to be safe. There's been some banditry, and we mean no offense. You will need to go down this main road." He points down the road, and at some point you'll reach a massive thoroughfare and you will see you'll see a grand market. You'll see the agora. Of course, you'll recognize it. And if you follow that massive thoroughfare to the east, eventually you'll come across the docks. You won't be able to miss it. Once you arrive at the docks, there is a rather large building nearby, and that is the Port Authority. And once you arrive at the Port Authority, you will seek out Theophanes. He manages the records for the colony, who's coming and going, and of course you will at that point present your colony contracts to him, and he will take care of you. Do you have any questions?
I look around, see if the rest of the group has got anything to say.
DM, do we actually have paper contracts?
Yeah.
Or we,
You do
Same
not.
thing.
we've
Yeah.
been running this whole time.
Yeah, we've been running around illegally the whole time.
We
Judge,
do have-
you all notice, is being very tight-lipped. You're just kind of looking
I
up
don't
and
think we should mention
around,
that now.
not paying attention to the conversation. Whatever you guys figure out is great.
Um,
I-
that's wonderful. That's great. I love it. We have no documentation, and we're trying to get out the stuff when we don't even have it.
Well, I think we do not have any questions. Thank you very much for your time. Have an outstanding day. And I tip my hat to him.
I love how you're just using it for everything.
Yes, of course. If you see just out of eyesight guards following you, do not fear. Once you are properly registered, then the problem will resolve itself.
Yes.
I'm surprised Sebastian didn't chime in with any
He
words or
yeah, he kind of follows up, and he listens to what everybody says, and then one of the guards goes to search him, in which they do, and they don't find anything, and he says, I'm with them. I met them at one of the watchtowers. They did a lot for me. Anyway, I live here, and he pulls out a scroll and he shows it to the guard, and it says, and I'm just gonna go see my family. We have to arrange funerals, it's a long story. And the guard nods. Yes, I know of your family. You have my condolences. Who died? And then he gives them some names, and the guard nods and is like, I see. Well, I would love to hear the story of how it happened, so that perhaps we can do something about it. But that is for another day. You may proceed. And then Sebastian kind of starts going through the gates and looks back to see if you guys are following.
Yep,
Yeah.
go ahead and move along.
All right. So, you guys should be able to move your token to where you want to go. Once you get inside, Sebastian kind of says, "Well, I should go see my family. You have to get to the port. Whereas I'm going this way," and he points, he points to the housing. And he says, you guys just kind of follow the road. You can see the road here, and just follow it until you see the big thoroughfare with the agora, and then just go that direction. It's super easy to find.
Where should we meet you afterwards?
That's a good question. Well, I know of an inn. Maybe you can meet me there. It's the biggest inn, one of the biggest inns in the city, called the Riotous Centaur. It's pretty. If you keep going down this road, this main road, if you look for the signs, it'll be on your left side, and you'll see a sign that where you see a centaur, and you'll see a flagon of ale in one hand, and you'll see a bottle of wine in the other. Or you'll recognize it, and then and just meet me there later.
Very well.
Okay, so he runs off. So what do you guys do?
As soon as
Uh,
he walks off, I'm going to bring up the whole. I did not think the paperwork issue about the contract was best to bring up in front of the guards. But it is worth remembering that, you know, we ended up here without our possessions. And so, of course, our paperwork was stolen, taken from us, however you wish to describe it.
Exactly. So, our paperwork, let's make sure we get our story straight before we start explaining anything. Our paperwork was lost. How, what is our story for how we got here again?
I was
The
thinking that we
shipwreck
were,
or something?
well, I was thinking perhaps, if we were abducted, I mean, we were sent here against our will. So it could be any number of unknown. I mean, if we were kidnapped and it was we don't know who they were. All we know is that we're on some mysterious part of this land, not where we're supposed to be. If our possessions were stolen, they were stolen. We found what we needed, but the paperwork was long gone, perhaps thrown in a bonfire. I'll allow someone else to say the details.
That is the story we had then? We were kidnapped and our things taken, so our papers are gone.
We managed to fight our way free, escape somehow, and as much as we wish to find revenge, it would be best if we attempt to get our work and do what we were here for. And truth be told, I think I like the idea of that historical society. I'm noticing Judge in particular seems to be interested in seeking out lost locations, and this sounds like the kind of organization that may have that sort of information. And they may be uniquely
Yes.
suited for teaching us more about this place.
Perhaps we can learn more about the magics that brought us here and perhaps how to break them. But I will trust Darcy that you are more than capable of talking us into whatever paperwork we are required by these humans.
So I am the mouthpiece now?
It cannot be me. I can have some ideas, but I will trip over the details.
So, we were kidnapped. We lost our papers. We made it here. We are looking for work for the society, historical society. This is what we're going with.
That sounds good to me.
Perfect.
But I suppose
Anything else?
we can figure that out once we've dealt with the paperwork.
I hope it doesn't cost us too much.
Well, there's something to be said for having been abducted against our will. There's only so much blame that we can assume.
I know, but you don't know. Some systems might charge for replacing things, official documentation, etc., etc.
Well, we do have some Mithna to afford that, but hopefully it will not be too expensive.
Well, we can cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully there are no bridges on the way.
All right. So are you going to start heading down the thoroughfare you're pointed at?
Yep.
So yeah, as you start moving, the road kind of bends around, and about at this point you're on the main road, but there's a bit of a grid, so that's fine. Anyway, around this point, you do see a sign of the right is Centaur. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it so that you guys should be able to see that now. Yep. So you'll see the barrel, and if you hover over it, you can see the name. And then you wind up continuing, and about this point, you can definitely see there's some massive intersection where up ahead it leads toward the giant hill you saw, and downward you can see what's clearly the agora, or at least some sort of marketplace. And then if you were to continue going the same direction you were going, you would eventually arrive at other massive structures, such as this one over here, which looks like it's hard to tell from that distance, but perhaps some sort of stadium or something. You can see there's a lot of activity over there, lots of people. Are you going to head toward the dock, or are you going to do something else?
Let us go to the dock first. The sooner we know what we need to do, the better.
Okay. So yeah, as you go through the dock, you wind up passing through a massive outdoor marketplace, and it reminds you of the marketplaces that you've seen in the watchtowers, but much bigger in scale. And so there's an icon there where you can see where that is. And as you pass through, you also notice that there are outdoor smiths, outdoor people selling jewelry, people selling clothes, rugs and cloth and food and fish and all sorts of things. So you continue along, and eventually you arrive at the docks. You see several buildings. You see several ships are moored, and you see some local fishing. Although you notice that the boats only seem to go out so far, and it's almost like there's an invisible line, like a wall, and the boats are staying clearly inside. And as you look past it, you can kind of see large waves in the distance. So it seems like whatever's happening out there, you see large swells, and people seem to be sticking to the shallows. You see a temple, and you see also some sort of massive structure, and then you see stairs that lead downward. So I'll go ahead and give you guys control of the token now to go where you're going to go next. You should be able to move the token. Let me know if it doesn't work. Is it not working?
It is working. It's just like weird with the grid.
Oh, it's because it's tile based. Yeah.
Yeah. And it won't let me like free move it.
Okay, here's what I'll do then. I will actually get rid of that grid then. Configure. If that's annoying, we'll just go gridless. Alright, try moving it now.
Nice. Yeah, that's much better.
Okay, so you're going to go back up north, or are you going to, where are you going to go?
I think we need to head down to either this building or this building. Somewhere down here is where we're supposed to get our paperwork.
You see throngs of people walking around, including guards.
You can always ask a guard where the where it is.
All right. I'll go ahead and Take off my hat and use one to flag down one of the guards.
Okay. One of them walks over and he says, "Hello. What do you need?"
Good afternoon. We are seeking out Theophanes at the Port Authority.
Oh yes, it's that giant building over there, and he points at this one here.
There we go.
I'll go
Thank
ahead
you.
and make that visible. There you go.
All right.
So you head over, and as you're heading over, you can see plenty of people working on the docks. You can see people unloading fish. You can see people tying down boats, and at least some of the buildings, probably like this one over here, seem to be some sort of storage areas. And you finally arrive at the Port Authority, and inside the building, you see people kind of walking around, but you do see what looks like official areas with desks and everything, and one person, a woman wearing fine clothing, as you're kind of looking around, confused, kind of waves you over and says, "Yes, you look lost. How can I help you?"
Well, we are lost. Apparently, we're supposed to arrive by boat. We are here to register.
Oh, yes. You want to speak to Theophanes, huh? Yes. Go that direction. She points you down a hall, and then make a right, and then it'll be the third door down. So,
All right, well, we go down the hall, go to the right, to the third door down.
all right. So you make your way, and
We see Theophanes fleeing across the fields.
you see
His window open.
you see a person kind of busy writing on a scroll, and he looks like he looks a lot more scrubby, and his hair's kind of a mess, and he's not quite what you might expect for someone who keeps records. But he looks up as you enter, and if you hover over the token, you can see a closer view, and he stands, and you can see that his shirt, his arms are bare, and his trousers are rather short, and he's wearing sandals. And he says, "Name's Theophanes. I keep the records for the colony. There hasn't been any new arrivals, though. The storm season is upon us. And the last ship that was supposed to arrive, I've just learned, yesterday, was shipwrecked. So, what business do you have with me?"
Well, we have in fact arrived and would like to register.
You have arrived. Wait. Okay. Where did you come from, if not by ship?
We are fuzzy on those details. We landed elsewhere on the island against our will.
Against your will. Explain.
What he means to say is we were abducted.
By whom?
See, that's what the thing. We don't know. We don't know. But our things were stolen, and we managed to make our way to here because that is what we were told we should do to register.
I see. So you were abducted, and where did you find yourself? How did you escape? And what can you tell me of the forces that abducted you? Clearly, they should be apprehended.
Anyone
Well,
else going to tag in, or shall I make up everything?
Well, I do seem to remember that the first location we found was a Temple of Saint Deal out in the wilderness.
They wait. Okay. Are you Okay, so there was a shipwreck. That's where the ship. I mean, it's not there, but it was close to that area. So you're telling me that your abductors put you on that ship and then crashed, but somehow they kept their wits about them, long enough to drop you off. Okay, so you found yourself at this temple. Clearly they just didn't. Why would they just let you go? So how did you escape?
Well, this is complicated because for one thing, we did not arrive on the shipwrecked ship. We did in fact find that ship later on, but unfortunately, it had suffered its own tragic fate. There were limited numbers of survivors, although we were able to help some of them. To tell the truth, we do not know when we got here exactly or how. We just remember being besieged by beasts and finding equipment. I found this. We found weapons. Fortunately, we did not actually encounter the people responsible for sending us here.
So how do you know you were abducted? Was it
Well, we certainly did not ask to spontaneously end up at the Temple of St. Deal.
he looks at you. Go ahead and give me a persuasion or a deception check. Probably deception, actually.
Oh Lord, can I help him?
Yes. What? Yeah, you've been talking to. So yeah, you got the help action.
All right. For what it's worth, I was trying to limit how much was. Well, yeah, I guess it's still stretching things. Where's the advantage thing?
You should
Oh,
have
wait, no, that's
left
what I
it with the shipwreck. It was a given.
Yeah, good point.
He's like, for some reason, I kind of want to believe you, but there is an easy way to solve this. Well, relatively easy. Let me see. Records. He starts pulling out scrolls. Here it is. Here is the list of people that was meant to arrive. That's contracted to arrive at the colony. Before I look at this list, just ask you: were you contracted to join the colony?
We were not.
He puts the list away. So, where were you before you were abducted?
The mainland.
Okay. Where on the mainland?
Do we know of cities that were mentioned before?
Yeah, did we get any mainland names or
I feel like we
locations?
did get like one or two, but I can't remember because it's been weeks and who knows how long since that was mentioned in the beginning.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Well, anybody who wants to remember can use the old random number generator version of remembering. Go ahead and give me a history check.
I can do that.
Who's got good on history?
Well, I mean, everyone could roll, no?
Sure.
Let's
Give
Yeah.
me any
see.
help or anything?
Yay! One of us has got to do well, right?
My history is okay.
Okay. Well. Oh wow, that's a minus. That's funny. But anyway, it's good enough.
Oh.
Gizzard and Tavros. You've heard the Polis of Methina mentioned multiple times, and you know, or at least it's strongly implied that that is a city.
It's
Okay.
funny. That was actually the thing I was looking for that I heard about from the Stella thing I was looking up.
Believe that's the only name I remember you getting, though.
Cool. Then I mention that to the rest of the group if I haven't already. Like I remind them of that city.
All right. So how do you respond?
Apollo Mathena, of course. That's where we're
course.
from.
So you were in
I'm sure.
one of the largest, if not the largest city in the world, and then you were abducted, and
Mm-hmm.
then you found yourself at the Temple of Deal. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, um, Tavros, and give me
Oh, no.
a deception check.
Oh, no.
Please help him.
How are you gonna help? What are you gonna say?
I guess she'd try to like fill in the blanks
Maybe
of how that could
whistle an
possibly
inspiring
be.
tune.
God, the more we try, the harder it is. You should have just went with the boat. You should have just went with the boat.
I was just following along with the already discussed or already
Okay, Darcy. So what do you say? Fill in details, but what do you mean? What do you say?
I say we were abducted from there. We woke up in the temple. We were attacked and our captors were killed by bug monsters. That's how we were able to escape. We managed to fight off the bugs that attacked us, and we managed to find our way to civilization. There.
Okay,
That's how we.
Tavros. You now have disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
The reason you have disadvantage is because he doesn't believe in these bug creatures.
Well, they know they're real. They've had problems.
Yeah. These people freak out over the slightest psychic rumbling. They should believe in bug monsters and fallen guys.
Exactly. They should.
You're talking about somebody who's basically in the city all the time and considers all that to be mumbo jumbo, obviously fake. Kind of like ghost stories and whatnot in the real world, or Bigfoot.
Oh, so this guy is
That sounds
so
like a
callous
personal
we can
problem to
cast
me.
magic in front of him then.
Right? It's like you believe now, hocus pocus.
Actually, that would be a bad idea.
Anyway,
bad.
Tavros, go ahead and roll deception. You have advantage or disadvantage.
Oh, whoa, disadvantage. I clicked advantage. Well, it's a 1 then.
All right, so he's sitting there. Giant bug creatures, you say? All right. Look, tell me what's really going on, please.
Are you familiar with the village of Vingar?
Sorry, say that louder.
Are you familiar with the village of Vingar?
All right. What about it?
It's a very distant village. It is from where I hail.
I am not familiar with it.
Nonetheless, that is where I am from. I do not know what path our abductors took to bring us from there to here, but that is where I am from.
He thinks about it. All right. And what of the rest of you? Which village or town do you really come from? What polis do you
Also,
come from?
I'm from the same place, actually. Believe it or not.
I do not believe it.
Oh, well.
And what of you, woman? Talking to Darcy, of course.
Well, obviously, I'm the only female in the room. I can't, on the top of my head, think of village names. So this is a player not knowing a name to give.
Okay, you can go ahead and probably give me a history check so you can kind of think of villages and stuff you've heard of before.
Oh no. Well, here we go. It's not a terrible. It's not a terrible indicator.
Okay, you mentioned the village of Lagad. Off the top of your head, you don't know if that actually exists, but it sounds about right. And he actually nods at this and is like, "Ah, a name I recognize for once. So perhaps you are telling the truth."
Yay!
What of you? And he kind of gestures at Gizzard. Hello? Did you not hear me, man?
Are you muted?
Brosnan, are you here?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay. So,
A village of yes.
so what do you say, Gizzard?
I'm from the same village as Tavros.
Yes.
Gee. So three
Yeah,
of you come
we
from the same village.
yeah,
Yeah.
we went to school together, you know. We grew up together. We're great friends.
I see. So what school did you go to?
Look
And
what
what did you study?
Tavros, what was it called again? What was the name of the school we went to
It
back in the
was,
day? I'm
uh,
blanking all of a sudden. I can't quite put my tongue on it. I don't quite remember.
of Ingar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. That's what it was.
The School of Ingar.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly.
He sighs. Well, one of you, I believe. Perhaps two of you. But what can we do? All right. I am going to ask you for your real names. And I am going to check the records that I have to make sure you aren't wanted criminals. I would ask that you be honest. I don't expect it, but things will go in your favor if you are honest. And if I think you're lying, I will have the guards come and arrest you. So please. And he points at you, Cyclonin. Sir, please give me your real name.
I am Elgato.
He shuffles through some scrolls, and you can see him start pulling things open and poring over names. He
Would it help if we had testimony from someone who we helped on our journey here?
It would actually. Who is this person, and where can I find him?
He has went to his home. His name is Sebastian.
And he lives here in Catanese. We are supposed to meet him at the inn later today. He is stopping by to meet with his family and deliver some bad news regarding some friends of his.
I see. Anybody that knows him that you can refer me to?
Well, the guards seem to know him.
The guards at the gate. Which gate did you
Yeah,
come
right.
in? The one the main road to the
The
south.
south.
Yes.
Okay, sit still, please. And then he goes to the door, and he suddenly shouts really loud, "Guards!" And one of them finally shows up.
Well, that's video shouting.
And then you hear him whispering for a while, and then you hear the clink of metal outside, and he comes in. Sebastian, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He closes the door. Please wait with me for a little while. Your friend should be arriving shortly, assuming he exists.
Oh, we have so many conflicting stories.
Here's what's going to happen. I will speak to Sebastian, and depending on what he says, and depending on whether he actually lives here and so on, if everything checks out, then I will treat you as refugees, and then we can put this mess behind us. If it turns out he doesn't know you, or he doesn't exist, or he doesn't, that kind of thing, then you will be going to the prison. So please wait with me, and I'm just going to get some work done, and you can talk amongst yourselves. And then he pulls out some scrolls as you're sitting, in front of the desk, and he just starts writing.
Oh, there is another name. I do not know if he's in town, but there was a merchant we helped. I believe it was a merchant. Yeah, Naresta.
He looks up. I do know of that name. Yes. Good. I don't know if he's in town, but I can find out. He puts down his writing implement, and he starts heading for the door. And you start trying to talk, Judge, and then he notices and turns around. Yes.
I was actually just kind of nudging either Darcy or Cyclone and whoever was paying attention. Judge pulls out the scroll of official paperwork from Nastara.
Naresta.
Naresta. I can't say his name. I pull out the paperwork he gave us to do that job for him about getting his the rest of his inventory back. It has his official seal on it and everything. It was able
Look
to
at
get us
that
pass
actual
cards and stuff.
stuff that can help us.
Well, I just kind of hand the paper to one of you two. I haven't said a word.
Okay, so the guy's heading toward the door. Do you stop him on the way, or you just keep the paper?
And that's or excuse me, this guy's name. Theophane's going out the door.
He's just going to the door. You guessed to call for Narestra.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I'm not sure that paperwork is a good idea given the circumstances.
I very quietly put it back in backpack then.
Fair enough. So you see him. You see Theophanes kind of open the door and peek his head out. You hear him whispering to a guard, and the door closes. And then he comes back in and sits, and he says, "If he is here, he will be here. He will be around eventually. In the meantime, we will be roommates." And then he sits and goes back to his work.
So when is the last time a ship arrived safely?
He looks up and is, unfortunately, the ship that was meant to arrive over a week ago is the one that I just found out yesterday crashed. And before then, the previous ship was several weeks behind that. It is near storm season, everybody knows that, of course, but unfortunately, it came early. And we were misinformed by the Oracle. I'm not sure exactly what is happening. The gods are laughing in the heavens, perhaps. But the storm season came early, and the ship crashed. And, yeah, that is all I know. Why?
I was just curious. When did these? I couldn't help but notice the turbulent waters as we're approaching the docks. How long has that been there?
Oh, it has been there for over 2 weeks now. The storm season usually lasts for 3 months, but some are predicting that it might last even longer this year. I pray to the gods that they are wrong, but it is as it should be. And then he goes back to his paperwork.
I do have one last name now that I think of it. Regarding the shipwreck, we did encounter some survivors from there, and one of the survivors was named Agaria.
Okay.
I do not know if he is in town, but if he is someone who can speak to our character.
I will keep that in mind. We will wait for news of Narestra and Sebastian. And then he continues on. So,
Is there a sink or anything else in here?
So as you're basically in a relatively small office, you see essentially cases with scrolls in them. You see several tables. You're arrayed in a set of stairs, kind of facing the desk, or not stairs, chairs facing the desk, and you see a few potted plants. Behind Theophanes is a small window that where light is kind of shining in. And you notice that, like many of the windows you're seeing here, there's no glass, although there are shutters on either side that could be closed. And you notice, though, that the window is too small to fit through for at least a normal-sized human. Um, it lets in some breeze and some light, but you don't get much of a view out of it. All right, while you're waiting, are you guys gonna discuss stuff or do anything else, or are we gonna pass the time?
I don't think there is anything we really can do while we wait, especially if he's right there.
I mean,
Yeah.
what we could do is maybe grumble amongst ourselves in a corner.
Fair enough. All right, so
Actually, Judge is gonna go ahead and start moving towards the door.
okay. As soon as Judge starts moving towards the door, you notice that Theophane's head pops up almost instantly, almost like he was watching you the whole time. And he says, "There are guards at the door. If you attempt to leave, the guards will be right there. So please, just sit still. Let me work."
Gavel, it is a bit stuffy and cramped in here. I am simply taking Gavel outside for some fresh air.
Please, we're not going outside. There's a breeze coming through the window. You see it shuffling my papers. Now, please, sit down and stay still.
Very well. I take Gavel and I just literally hold my arm up and let him flutter to the window.
Okay, yeah, he flies over to the window. He looks up at him grumpily, but otherwise ignores him. All right, so half an hour passes, and a guard pops his head in, and he says, "We found Sebastian. He will be here in about 15 minutes. Unfortunately, Norestra is just left the city this morning, as far as we're told, so he won't be available." And then Theophanes kind of gestures at the guard dismissively, and then the guard closes the door. "All right, people, you have 15 minutes, and then Sebastian, who is real, so you get credit for that at least, will be arriving." And then he goes back to his work. Do you guys do anything during those 15 minutes?
Dark.
Actually, would they say that which gate did Arestra leave through?
You ask which gate he went through?
Yeah.
The guard didn't say, and I'm not going to bug the guard right now. You can ask him. Assuming you leave here, you can ask. Well, either way, you'll see the guard on the way out, so you can ask him then.
Well, I'm surprised we did not run into him on the way here, unless there are other convenient roads out of town. Is there one main entry to? Was there one main thoroughfare into town?
As
we
far
saw
as
on
you
the way
can
in?
tell, there are other gates that lead to communities outside of town, but only the main road. So it is possible that he's out of the city, but still in the area, if that makes sense. All right, so 15 minutes passes, and the guard pops his head in and says, "Sebastian is here. And I have something I should inform you about, Sebastian." And so he comes in, and then whispers to Theophanes, and then Theophanes, and then Sebastian is led in, and then the first guard leaves. The door is closed. All right, Sebastian. I have just been informed that you have suffered a grievous loss. I've also been informed that your family is, well, your family, two of your family members are senators. So I applaud. I applaud you taking time out of your. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to visit. These people here, they claim that they have helped you out in some way. So I would like to hear if that is true. And then Sebastian looks and sees you all sitting there, and kind of gives you like a puzzled look. It's like, what's going on, kind of thing. But then he turns back, and it says, "Actually, sir, they did help me out. You see, if it wasn't for them, her specifically," and he points at Darcy, "I would be dead now. You see, the place I went to with my friends, I should have never gone. And that place is the reason they are now dead. And had she not saved me, I would be dead as well. And then I went back to the watchtower, knowing my friends were dead, and I was keen to just drink my life away. I could not accept it. I even had trouble remembering it happened, as strange as that sounds now. Since then, my mind has cleared somehow, and I remember a lot more. Anyway, yes, they helped me. They helped my family, and if it wasn't for them, I would be dead. And those senators you speak so highly of would be without a son." And then Theophanes nods and he says, "Thank you, Sebastian. Please return back to your family and give them my warmest regards." And Sebastian leaves, and he looks at you guys, and he says, "Well, the more I think of it, the more I realize that most, if not all of you, are lying to me. However, I don't care. His family is important in this city, and you saved his life. I believe him. As such, you are refugees, and you are entitled to everything you would have gotten had you had a proper contract." So at this point in time, he says, "You'll be giving temporary housing at the colony tenements for 1 month. After which time you will be responsible for your own housing. Today, it is Dahlia the 12th, and 30 days hence, you will be evicted from the tenements, assuming you don't leave earlier, of course. In addition, all colonists who first arrive as part of their contract are awarded 60 mithna in pay initially, and that will last you for a while, and then you are expected to find other work to sustain yourselves. That will last you for quite some time, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. And most people come and they already have work ahead of them, but not everyone, which is why we do this. And while you're here, I normally recommend various points of interest within the city to acquaint yourselves with the area. And so, of course, there's the Acropolis atop the hill you've no doubt seen on the way in. It is currently closed to the public, but you can visit the Eubulus Theater, designed by the famed architect Eubulus himself to provide the best possible acoustics. There is the Agria Stadium, home of chariot races, foot races, and various games and sports. The Grand Temple of Athena, patron goddess of the polis of Athena. The Temple of Delena, with whom Athena formed an uneasy truce to allow humans to live on her islands. The Temple of Caranos, which you no doubt seen here at the docks, who protects the colony from the storms. The Agora, the grand market of the city. The Halakis of Athena, the historical society, busy researching an ancient civilization that has ruins dotting the islands. And if you're up for a drink, the Riotous Centaur, one of the largest inns in the city.
Where can I find that?
If you follow the main thoroughfare that you pass through the Agora, and then head south toward the gate that you said you entered through, and you can find it along that main thoroughfare. You'll find a sign with a centaur with a mug in one hand and a bottle of wine in the other. You can't miss it. So he pulls out the coins, and each of you get a sack full of 60 mithna. And he says, the tenements, it'd be best to show you. He kind of unrolls a map of the city, and I'm going to go ahead and mark various areas on there for you to see. There is let's see. There is that. You already saw that. There's the temple. Colony tenements. Right, a centaur you already have. Let's see, the stadium he mentioned. You mentioned the theater, not that those are hard to find anyway. Come on. The temples, of course. So he's kind of pointing at these things on the map for you. He's not giving you the map, but you guys can probably see it well enough. All right, so you should see several locations that he's put on the map for you. You can see the Halakis of Athena. You can see the tenements over here. You can see the Riotous Centaur, the various temples, and so on. And then he says, "Here's your placard." He hands you each one. Well, actually, he looks at the group before doing that, and he says, "Wait. You are a group. Typically, we house the groups together. I can give you two separate two separate dwellings in the tenement. They aren't very large dwellings, I'm afraid. Akin to rooms you might get at an inn, to be honest. So would you like two separate rooms or a single room?
If they are not
Separate.
very large, then yes.
All right. So who is in the first room? And he holds up a placard.
Me, Smile.
All right. He hands it to you. And who's in the second room?
Darcy takes it.
He takes it. He hands it to Darcy. All right. You can find yourselves to the colony tenements. Food is not provided. It's just a place to stay. You can eat at the Riotous Centaur if you don't have any other anything else planned. At the Riotous Centaur, though, you will have to pay for your meals and drink and everything. And I suggest that you find work if you don't already have something planned. And I sincerely hope that you don't make me regret my decision to let you go today. Your actions will reflect on Sebastian and his family. Just keep that in mind. You are free to go. So what do you do?
Thank you, sir.
We're not being held at the government house anymore. Let's go. Or someone says something else and we get arrested.
No, we're leaving with a very quiet. Thank you, sir. We will do our best to be very good.
Good.
I just
All right.
kind of hold my left hand out, and gavel comes and lands on it, and we're
All right.
ready to head out.
Actually, before we go, the guards mentioned the Halicus of Athena. That sounded like they might be able to make use of our services. Where would we find that?
He mentions he already pointed it on the map, but then he points it out again.
Okay. I tip my hat to you and step out.
All right. So yeah, once you guys step out, the guards just get out of your way, and the tension just deflates. And everyone else, as you're leaving, is all chipper and happy, and it's like, and the person you talk to at the front, she's like, "So how did it go?"
Hmm. Not as expected, but better than thought. So, fine, I suppose.
Good. Well, okay. Yeah. If you need anything else, just let me know.
Of course.
And as soon as we're out of there, she's gonna
I
look back
take a swig from the jug.
at everyone. and
We
like,
all got paperwork, right?
Oh yeah. He handed each of you a scroll on the way out.
yay, we're illegal now.
Is my page blank?
No. It's basically it's a form written letter about your official colony member. It has he asked for your name, so it has your name on there. It has the date and his
He
signature.
never asked Judge for his name or original city of origin.
Oh, he meant to. Okay.
He never got it. So it was
Okay,
mine
so
blank.
in that case, before you left, he asked Judge what your name is.
Oh, damn it. I was hoping I could get away without it, leaving it blank. Okay.
No, he would have known. He would have known. All right, so what do you say?
Crap. I had a name, but it's
Very
actually
well, Mr.
technically a
Crab.
lie. So I'm going to have to say that his name is Tigran Carnage II. Because
Okay.
that's telling the truth.
He accepts that. All right, so yeah, you leave. So everybody should have the name you gave him on your paper, and then it's got his seal, it's got his signature, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in that case, now Judge is in more of a bad mood. I had to use that name. I'm not going to freaking lie to the guy, but I shouldn't have to have my name on it. As I'm going down the street.
All righty.
I don't use my traitor's name. It's not fair.
Alrighty, so yeah, you guys leave the building. So where to next?
As soon as we're out of the building, away from anyone who looks like they actually matter, they can hear us. I'm gonna say Celestial. I can't believe the circus that was. I thought we had a plan. What happened?
I said nothing.
I'm not talking to you, obviously.
That went about as well as I expected.
Why do we even come up with plans? We never stick to them.
Well,
What does
that
it you
seems
always
like a
like
good.
to say? What does it you always like to say, Cyclonin? No plan survives first contact. Is that what this was? Or was it just
Guys,
bad?
perhaps we should make up plans we do not want to do so that we do them at the good place. But I'm sure if we
I-
tried that, like, if we put together a plan to get arrested, that would probably go according to plan.
Okay, how about we go get our official job before we do anything else?
That sounds like a good plan.
So we're gonna go to the historical society and hope they'll accept us.
All right. So yeah, you guys should have control of the tokens. So go ahead and just. Put where you wanna
Meanwhile,
go.
at the Helicus of
Oh my
Athena,
gosh. That's terrifying. That scared me.
That scared you?
It was so loud compared to everything else.
Alright, so that's over here. Or right here, I should say.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
you could cut through. There's like it'd be a side.
Alright,
It'd be
what
like
if
a
we
smaller
go
road
this way?
here.
The road
so-
here.
So are you going right here? If so, yeah. Okay,
Is that
yeah,
what
just
we're
go ahead and
doing?
move your token over there. That's fine. You make it. By the time you get there, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and you enter the Helicus of Athena, which is brimming with activity, and I think that will be the end of the session. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.